5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome into the stream. We're here. Well, 2/3, 2/4, a half. Half of us are here. 2 out of the 4 are here. And so, yeah, waiting on Mark. He'll be here in like a minute and a half. We got Hannah, PH, in the studio. What's up? Oh, uh-oh. Your mic's off. Is it? No, I still don't hear you. No. Am I not plugged in? You should be plugged in. Oh.
Hello.
Wrong button. So, yeah, PD is on a boat somewhere in the Pacific Ocean.
Pacific or Atlantic?
Pacific.
Okay.
He went out of L.A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know where they were going.
Yep. And yeah, they're headed to the west coast of Mexico.
Okay.
So yeah, right. Actually, they're going to Ensenada, which is one of the ports that we're going to be going to. Well, the only port in Mexico that Rachel and I are going to in June.
Okay,
like
very good.
3 weeks.
Do you have a knife?
A knife? Let me see.
Or a sharp thing?
Let me see.
I just figured out what that is.
Oh, arms are stretched out long. Here he is.
Quite.
He's a new man this week.
Eric's mic is off. My mic is on.
Yeah. All right.
Still sore though. Ooh,
I made sure not to open this because I really wanted just to see. I saw it already a little bit. I just really wanted to see Hannah's reaction here
oh, okay.
because this is the first time that we've seen this
Like in
from
person.
our store. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it is a perfect size.
Is it the mug?
It is.
Yay!
When I saw it come in this
Did
week.
that come before everything else?
Yes.
Nice.
Literally everything else. So whoever's making these porcelain mugs.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
That is.
That
And
is,
actually, I gotta
that's
grab a spear, so I'll
crispy.
hold it up to the camera. Hold on.
That is crispy.
I love it.
Now I'm seeing it though. I think the logo is the logo a little bit too big.
No.
No? Okay. Oh man. That is beautiful.
And I'm so glad I got the red instead of the black.
I am too. That is it is crispy. I don't think the camera's doing it justice.
I don't think it is.
It's shiny
It's not faded or anything.
No.
Good material.
and
Yeah.
the logo looks like super nice.
You can touch it. It's okay.
For some reason, I have
Yeah. I break it.
You'll just buy me a new one
True.
from our own merch store.
I'm gonna go ahead and put this just right here for the show.
Absolutely.
You are currently. Oh, right. You have 3.
Wow, we saw all the garage mirrors too.
That's true.
Do I still have something in the door?
Yeah, Hannah should have 1 or 2 of the jacks. Oh shit.
Poor Chalker's fine.
There's those kombucha things.
Those are still not mine, and I still don't want them.
You don't. I know. I do.
They're not.
But you can have it. It's in the fridge.
I know.
You have Crown Royal salted caramel.
Ooh, some Crown.
The way I'm feeling today, probably not. I'll just do poor Chalker.
Yeah, otherwise it's all like mixes and stuff.
Yeah. I got a lot of mixes in there. A week ago, double arm sling. This week, bartending.
Love it.
I don't know about that. What
Thank-
beer do you want?
Thank you.
I'm
Ryan.
good. I got mine already.
Oh.
But in order for us not to stand up, could you get me another garage beer? And then I'll be good to go for at least into topic number 2.
So this is the first time I've tried the poor Chalker. I kind of like it.
It's not bad. I think it's just because it has porch in its name.
Probably. What is it? Strawberry or apple that Bush Light has this summer?
The apple.
Or yeah, apple.
Okay.
Well, but I heard that they're coming out with a strawberry too.
Yes.
Really?
Strawberry bush.
Strawberry.
But I have
I haven't seen it yet.
I have
Sounds very. I also just realized I did not bring a hat, so everyone gets to enjoy my.
We don't have one down here.
yeah, I
today.
got a Cooper Allen or a Thomas Mack.
It's okay.
All right.
I'll be hatless today.
So we came up with our studio name that we're gonna have in town, like the public to use.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's called the Back Porch.
Because we're the front porch.
Yes. yeah, this is the
Yeah, as
original.
long as it's not the back door.
Yeah, it's not the back door.
This is the OG front porch. This is where you go for all things front porch.
Yes, and then our public studio that people can rent out will be called the Back Porch.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to stick with the porch theme.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be
Well,
good marketing. You know?
and let's be honest. There's certain things you do on your back porch that you wouldn't dare do on your front porch.
And
You're
vice
not wrong.
versa.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. They're unspeakable things, really.
Yeah. Because you're protected by the fence.
Yep.
You know, you're not displaying things out in public on the street.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the kids pee on the back porch.
That's right. They don't pee in the front porch.
I want to turn the lights down just a little bit. It seems like our camera.
It's because I don't have
Gets-
a hat on. So let's be honest.
I knew that's
But-
where we were going with
But
it.
it's even the TVs. I noticed on the last video that the TVs were like they're
Little
super
washed out.
washed out.
Yeah,
and,
they are actually. Now that you say
and the backlighting on the TVs has not changed.
No.
you're right.
But then it'll come it's like that auto focus or auto whatever thing on the
On
camera.
the camera
Yeah.
itself.
Even on the stream, it doesn't look.
Yeah. That'll be something that we'll figure out in season 9.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is this weird to think this is the last like normal episode of the season?
Yes and no. I feel like
Next episode's a technical special one.
yeah. Which, by the way, do we have Brandon on that?
Who?
Brandon Steiner?
I mean, one, I don't have his info in
Oh,
general,
true,
but
true.
two, I also was, since he was on the podcast,
What, 3 episodes ago?
yeah, like as like an official guest, as opposed to like even with our Super Bowl one, like yes, we had Caleb on and then Alan by phone.
Yep.
That's also kind of viewed more as a, like you said, like it's an official episode, but it's viewed more as a bonus episode.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
is why Caleb's got the invite.
Okay.
But everyone else will be here, to my knowledge.
Oh,
Like in the studio.
hell yes.
Fred,
that's huge.
Steve, and Shauna.
Hell yes.
So unless we have anyone else we need to add to that.
Steve, I asked him through text, I think late this week or late last week. Mm-hmm. And he was like, ooh, what should my topic be? Something about power tools. And I was like, hell yes. So he has, I think, like kind of 2 topics all in one, but it's all about power tools.
Yep.
So I'm pretty stoked about that.
And then, yeah, everyone gets like, yeah, I mean, depending on their topic, like 15 to 25-ish minutes.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
Evelyn.
Yeah, she's just having a fit.
Yeah.
I did, when I walked in, she was definitely like crawling to meet me. At the door.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, hey.
She's been doing that lately.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't think Elliot's home yet.
From baseball practice?
No, he went over with the track team to Hayes to
Oh.
go putt and eat pizza
Nice.
as a team builder right before regionals. And so yeah, Monday Mickey was like, "Hey, we're gonna go do this. Does Elliot want to go? Or like, you guys are all invited?" And I was like, "Well, I have t-ball practice. I can't skip out on that." And she was like, "Oh, well, Elliot, do you want to go?" And at first she was like, "No, Dad. Like, if Dad's not going, I'm not going." And I was like, "Hey, Trey and Jaden are gonna be there." And he was like, "I might think about it." And I was like, "Dude, it's putt. Like, you should go." And he's
Yeah.
like, "All right, I'm going."
That's awesome.
So he went with the whole team, and yeah, it's kind of a cool thing. Like, I got a picture earlier from Mickey that it was Trey and Annika, and then Elliot right there, and they're about to get their putters and go out, and so it's pretty cool. One
I
of
love that.
those cool moments.
Yeah. For sure.
All right, so I want to just make sure we're on the same page before we get going. By the way, I found Soundstripe. It's a non-copyrighted music station where you can get all kinds of different genres. It's just mostly instrumental, but I was playing that earlier on the show.
Nice.
PGA Championship recap, drafting board games, and trends we don't understand.
Oh, I was gonna flip flop 2 and 3,
Oh,
but we usually end with the draft.
we do. I think it'd be fun to end on the trend we don't understand. And
We can do
like
that.
at the banger and then
That's fine.
done.
I'm good with
Plus,
that.
I don't want to have to go and edit all the titles and stuff.
Do you? Oh well, I mean it's just on Twitch, but are you gonna recap Wicked Fest too?
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll do Wicked Fest. We can do
We'll do
that.
it all together.
Yeah, either in topic 1 or
I was gonna say topic 1 is a recap of the preview.
the recap of our preview.
Yeah, from last week.
Oh, I know we did it the preview last week, but we're just gonna recap our preview or recap the PGA.
Well, the topics of our previews.
Okay.
Because we're even with the board games. It's like we did card games, but obviously we left out a lot of games.
Yeah.
So now we're bringing the board games to the table.
Which I'm not a big board game guy, so I'm gonna be stretching on some of mine.
I have some that I enjoy.
Okay.
I have some I don't enjoy.
Yeah, there's some that
There's some that I will judge you harshly for if you say it. So.
And I can't wait for that topic.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. Yeah.
Yeah.
Evelyn.
And again, I have a
That's
joke.
all right.
I have a joke. Do you want me to shut that?
No, we'll be all right. It's a dad podcast, right? Or family podcast.
Family.
All right, ready?
So, I'm sure you guys have done this, and this might be a topic one of these days for our show. But Mary Kate, like, obviously, we just got back from Colorado. We're all super tired. Late nights and burning a lot of energy, lots of sugar, lots of pop, all that. And we get in the house, and this morning, all the kids like got donuts from Dunkin' Donuts, and Mary Kate goes to like get one of her donuts out of the box, and she like starts like having a total meltdown.
Oh,
Again,
no.
overtired, all that sort of stuff. She's like, "Someone ate half of my donut. I had the white donut with the sprinkles, and someone ate." And she's like losing her mind
Oh,
about this whole
God.
thing. And we're just like, Mary Kate, like, we're sorry that apparently someone ate your donut. Like, what do you want us to do? Like, it's in their stomach. It's not like we can get it back. Like, I'm sure, like, we'll make it up for you sometime, whatever. And she's really mad. I bet it was Reese. Reese ate it." Like, all, like, losing her mind,
Full
pointing fingers.
interrogation
Yes, like,
mode.
super angry about this whole thing. And so she, like, goes stomping off because Katie and I are like, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like, outside of, like, reprimanding, but we don't even know that someone actually ate your donut or whatever. And then about 5 minutes later, I was doing something in the dining room, and she comes down. She's like, "Dad, I need to tell you something." And I was just like, "All right, what is that, honey?" And she's like, "I know who ate my donut." I'm like, "Okay, like, was it Reese?" She goes, "No, I forgot that I ate the donut."
no.
And I was just like,
foot
"Well,
mouth.
honey, this is why we don't get, first of all, we don't overreact
Yeah.
and, cry and throw a fit and all that sort of stuff, especially something as trivial as someone eating half of your donut." But number 2, you were ready to point fingers and be really mad at Reese and like wanting us to like get him in trouble and all
Right.
that sort of stuff. And I was like, "Honey, this is why like we can't just overreact to things right away." So it was
Yeah.
like a good life lesson moment. And Katie was like trying not to pee her pants in laughter when Mary Kate told her this. But it did make me think like, oh man, there's probably some good stories of like you forgot you did something or you forgot you bought something. Like how many times does an Amazon package like show up at your door and you're just like, "What is this? I didn't." Oh.
Yep. I've done that.
Oh yeah, I was super drunk last Thursday, which is how my father-in-law ended up with an infrared grill.
Hell yes.
That is exactly how he got that grill.
I do have a quick story.
Oh, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Drunk Chris loves to play games on Sober Chris. And I'm pretty sure Drunk Chris hit $100 bill somewhere this weekend on Saturday that I now can't find.
Yep.
And so I've been looking everywhere around the house. I tore apart every car, every bag that I had downtown this weekend.
And when you find it, you'll remember like what drunk
That
Chris
you
did.
put it there
Yep.
so that you wouldn't forget.
Correct.
Exactly.
I do that with 2/3 of the things in my house right now.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Yeah. Drunk Chris is a real asshole, though.
I know. I've met him. He's a good time too, though.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Do you have any stories? All right. We're gonna go.
I have plenty, but no, not that we're going to discuss today.
Not right now.
Not
All
right
right.
now.
We can start the show.
All right. Coming to you live from the front porch. Welcome to In the Middle Podcast, a podcast about living life in the Midwest. So pour a glass, sit on your ass, and join the conversation as we talk all things sports, hobbies, and life's greatest conundrums. Mark,
Sight.
what's up, dude?
Well, got back from our Colorado trip and went straight to physical therapy, which
Good for
great.
you.
So yeah,
PT, baby.
I did my stretches and stuff. I need to ice a little bit more and that sort of stuff. But Sam was really impressed. She's like, I could tell you actually did exercises like since the last time we were together. And I was just like, great, like because I did.
You're a good patient.
So yes, like I was able to drum a little bit in the intro, not like the full like arm motion because like the quick motion is still pretty
Sore.
intense. But yeah, I could play like a little baby drum set over here, and so I was happy that we were able to do that as opposed to last week.
Yeah, I'm glad you're back. First of all, you didn't screw up my whole entire intro, so that's good.
Sorry.
No, but from last week to this week, huge improvement. You're not double slinged.
Nope.
You're not.
Drove yourself?
Yeah, not 90 degrees at the elbows either.
I will say, like, even though I've been cleared to drive, turning is definitely harder than I thought it was going to be. And
Short stroke
yeah,
in the steering
no,
wheel.
it was very. I was like, okay, maybe it's a good thing Sam didn't like say like, yeah, you can go to work tomorrow
Right.
because yeah, turning's still difficult.
Looks like the little old lady driving her car in town.
I did tell my boss what you had done with your elbows, and she was like, "How did he do that?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, he was rollerblading." How old is he? 36.
You don't have to be a certain age to rollerblade.
Yeah, you ever been to
boss lady.
California?
Yeah.
California, there's old people rollerblading everywhere
I
on the
know.
beach.
She was just giving you. I mean, she doesn't know you that well, but she was just giving you a hard time.
That's awesome. PH is in the building.
I am here,
PD out on
not
a
in the
boat.
building.
Yep.
I was about to text
Back
him.
to back episode. Again, he just likes to not show up for work from time to time.
Yeah, but this time he's literally in the ocean. He's
That's true.
not MIA. He's just
give it to him.
in the ocean.
He'll be here next week though, right?
Yes.
For the finale.
Yeah, he'll be here.
Okay.
I'll strap him down.
That's
Tape.
You're entering a realm.
Hold on.
You're entering a realm.
Tape over his mouth. I'll kidnap him from his work. Hold him hostage in my safe until 9 o'clock. So then he has to be here.
Okay.
Okay.
That'll work.
Yeah, I wasn't going a different route with
It's
this.
still very like dungeony
I guess it kind of is.
toys and all sorts of other stuff.
No, I didn't mention.
Swings.
Oh well, I will throw him some stuff in there so he could play at least for a little bit. Like there's a Twitch or a Switch. Is that what they call them nowadays?
Oh,
Nintendo?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Nintendo Switch.
We have one of those. He can play that.
Yeah.
I think that should we shout some people out?
Yes, we could do that. So, real fast, we will shout out our Patreon supporters, Miss Hannah Haggard, Mr. Joe Roth, and Mr. Eric Rourke. And then, of course, our longest running supporter, who I did forget to mention last week, which was Hunter Key. So,
Yes.
Hunter, doubly cheers for you right there.
Cheers.
I even took the actual sip. And then, of course, our Twitch subscribers, advertisers, all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
But no one more important than McNary Chiropractic, sponsor of the Dad Joke of the Week, sponsored by McNary Chiropractic, Family Health and Wellness. Here in Russell, Kansas, go see PD for all of your chiropractic needs. And Sight, before you read the Dad Joke of the Week, I have a fortune of the week for all of you.
Oh yes.
Because I don't really know what this means. My wife was craving Chinese, and I was like, well, I'm not going to do that because we already spent a lot of money this weekend. So if you want Chinese, you do that. I'll just eat leftovers. But she did have 2 fortune cookies, and I opened
Yes.
mine, and it says, be careful. Straight trees often have crooked roots.
What?
So I think I'm gay.
Are you a tree?
Well, I'm straight,
Yeah.
So if I was a tree,
But you have crooked roots.
So
I'd have crooked roots.
So you're just a gay tree then.
I think so.
I think that's how that's interpreted.
Yeah. Because like
Mark was a tree.
what you see is the trunk, right? But then below the waist, everything's crooked, which would mean if I'm thinking with the second head,
I mean, everybody's a little crooked, aren't they?
I mean, look, there's some handsome men out there.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I
And
just find
$5 is $5. So
I find this extremely hilarious.
that's all I'm saying.
All right.
As
dad
we learned
joke.
last week, $5 is $5.
That is true. Which, by the way,
Was
did
it
you
last
get the
week?
money?
Actually, forgot to tell you guys this. Here's what we're doing with the money.
What?
So my brother owed us $25.
Yes.
And one night at the Colorado trip, we were very drunkenly like talking about sports and like sports betting and all that sort of stuff. And he was looking up like futures for the NBA because the one that caught his eye is it said like it was like plus like 300 or something of a team who has never won the championship to win the championship. And he's like, hold on. The Knicks have obviously won. Oklahoma City hasn't.
Nope.
The Pacers haven't.
Yeah.
And the Timberwolves hasn't. Like, how is this plus money? And I was like, well, but the Thunder used to be the Supersonics, and I
Right.
think they won sometime back in the 70s. I think it was like 78 or something like that.
Okay.
And when he like dove deeper into the bet, that's exactly how they were trying to trick you to
Those
take that
dirty
bet.
dogs.
But there was a bet that said the Timberwolves would cover 2.5 games. So basically they could lose in 6 games,
Okay.
which I think is possible. They did get blown out in game 1, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But so it's that and then the Knicks to win the East. And the reason why the Knicks win the East is because ratings are a thing and no one wants to watch a Pacers Thunder or a Pacers Timberwolves NBA championship. They're going to rig it so the Knicks get in. So
Okay. Hold
my
on.
brother,
Hold on. I have a feeling where this is going. You're gambling away
no,
pod money.
no, here's
I drank 2 beers for that money.
Here's the way this is working because Brett said he normally bets like $20 on
Yeah.
something like this. And I was like I'm using my convicted voice. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, at minimum, the Knicks are making the conference finals. And yeah, either the Timberwolves make the finals
Right.
or yeah, the Thunder's going to beat them in 6 or 7 games. Like, I don't think it's going to be a clean sweep at 4. 5 is your questionable mark, but that's why the line is at 2.5. And he's like, all right, what if we do this? What if I lay 100 on it,
Ooh.
but you guys buy in since it's $25, like the 4 of us have a $5 share, Brett being the 5th share on the $25 that he owes us. So if the bet hits, we actually get like, I think it would be like $35 instead of $25.
Wait a minute. That's it?
Well, because we're splitting, because technically we would only get 20% of the total share. And like, so with this $100,
It should be 25%.
or whatever it is. We were drunk when we were doing the math. But point is we have a 25% stake in his bet
Okay.
is what it is.
That's fine.
And so if that hits, which I'm promising you it's going to,
Which is
we get more money.
And what was the odds on it?
I don't quite remember. Probably like 250 or something.
Okay, we're getting hosed on this deal. Because $25 on a plus 250 bet is more than 35.
Well, I don't remember. Again, I was doing weird math.
He was doing drunk math, Chris. Until
Oh,
it hits,
yeah.
we're not gonna know.
Yeah.
I mean, drunk Chris plays.
Which,
Hard
fun
games.
fact, the Knicks are currently up with 5 minutes left, 111 to 98. So our bet's already looking good
Hell yes.
With 5 minutes left.
in the 4th.
Yeah, I know, but it's still that's like an eternity in basketball.
Well, but that's still a decent comeback that they'd have to do.
Yeah.
We're fine.
I want to do the joke that Derek sponsored.
Sorry, PD.
All right, May 21st. I just found a nickel on the ground and having a feeling I have a feeling I will find a penny later. It's my 6th sense.
Oh my God. Okay.
But
That one was pretty good.
It's good, but also bad.
Very bad.
I like it. It's my six.
Oh no!
I was gonna say you even hit the enter button, so I immediately looked at the Twitch like, oh god,
Oh no!
did something get missed?
All
I don't
right,
know.
Elliot's just about home from hanging out with the track team over in Hayes.
Nice.
So yeah, that
Do
was
you need
such
to
a cool
receive
thing.
him?
I don't know. I might have to. They just passed Gorham, but we'll be all right. Hey, Mark, what are we talking about today?
So today, in topic number 1, we are recapping what we then previewed last week, which is the PGA Championship and Wicked Fest. And I'll just go ahead and say right now, even though this is going to be part of topic number 1, I also just want to bring up the fact that, yes, we have a Pacers-Knicks Eastern Conference Final, and we have a Thunder Timberwolves Western Conference Final, and none of us has anyone other than the Thunder left. So I would have to actually check the scoreboard. But last I checked, I think it was Derek who was
Derek
like winning
Yes.
the whole thing. So yeah, congratulations to Derek for winning the NBA Tournament Bracket Challenge, because we all did horrible
Yes, we
in
did.
it. NHL Finals are Conference Finals are Panthers Hurricanes, which I hate both of those teams, and then the Edmonton Oilers,
Yes.
the Midwest of the Canada,
Yes.
and then the Dallas Stars, who for me is part of like, yes, they're South, but they're
Yeah.
a more Midwestern kind of
Tornado
Base.
Alley.
So
They're Tornado Alley.
what I'm doing is I'm rooting for whoever wins Stars Oilers for hockey. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Edmonton, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do have McDavid, who's a lot of fun to watch. But
Yes.
anyway, so topic number 1, quick recap of things that we talked about last week. Topic number 2 is a continuation of last week, where we are actually going to draft our favorite board games as opposed to card games. So it's kind of a part 2 of that little series. And then topic number 3, we are going to talk about trends that we just simply don't understand or don't like in general.
Yes.
So that's what we're doing today.
Yeah, I'm really excited for topic 3. But before that, we have to get into topic number 1. All right. Bearing the lead as we always do, Scotty wins
Yep.
again.
Yep.
Third
Third major.
Time, yeah, first time winning the PGA Championship.
It's come so far. I mean,
Yeah,
he was a felon last year.
Yeah.
a year
Golf
ago.
championship.
Look, 366 days before he won the Wanamaker, that man was in jail.
Yeah.
Wearing an orange jumpsuit.
Not sure if he'll ever see his newborn son again.
Look, dreams do come true, guys.
They
That's
do.
all I'm saying.
They do. Oh,
You
man.
work hard, you be a man of God, you
Yeah.
know,
Turn to Jesus,
and you
read
just
the Bible.
Yeah, and next thing you know, you're number
PGA
1 golfer. Yeah. Hoisting the major.
Did you see that he dropped the cup?
He dropped the lid.
The
yeah,
lid,
yeah.
yeah.
That was pretty
And
funny.
it
I
bent.
missed that.
Oh, it bent. It was so bad. And then to have such a cool dad moment after the tournament.
Yeah.
I don't know his wife's name. I can't remember.
Yeah, but
I
it's
don't
Little
know.
Bennett. I know that.
Yeah, she like all the memes were crazy because like during one of his pressers after he won, he's sitting there and like he carried Bennett in and laid him down on the floor, took off his hat, pulled out a scorecard and put it in front of him, and then went over to the presser and was like talking. And it was like, yeah, when your wife has been holding the kid for 4 straight days while you play golf,
Yeah.
it's like some things don't change even when you just won a major.
Yeah, there have been a lot of good memes this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was really the only time I really got to watch any golf on the 4 days. I got to watch the last 9 of Sunday,
Okay.
where it was starting to shape up. Like on hole 10, 11, like this might actually come down to the wire. DeChambeau bogeys, gets out, but essentially out of the running. Who else was up there? Oh, geez.
I mean, Rom was there for a
Yeah,
little bit
John.
to start the day.
Yeah, and then he went bogey on the back 9 too.
Yeah,
which-
Bradley was up there for a little
Killed him.
bit. Who was it? Siwoo Kim? I don't remember.
Yeah.
There were a couple names up there.
But nonetheless, Scotty bogeys 18 to still win by 5 strokes.
Yeah. And I feel kind of bad because last week I previewed, I was like, I think this could be one of the like funnest majors we've had.
Yep.
Thursday, like no one knew a single name on the top of that leaderboard.
No.
And I watched all of Thursday because I had nothing to do with 2 broken arms. And so I watched like pretty much every stroke. And I was like getting so frustrated because I was like, oh my God, everybody is in like +1, +2, +3, like flirting with the cut line. And then, Friday, and we always say Thursday is like the most exciting day because that's where you kind of separate the men from the boys. Friday is cut line day, and of course, notable names miss the cut. But then Saturday, as they said on the broadcast, the cream rose to the top.
Yes.
And that's where you saw Scotty, Bryson, Rom, like all of those names, like start to climb up the leaderboard. All those no names who are at the top of the leaderboard showed you why they have not won a major and are no names because eventually you just fall apart and no one like you get no TV time, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Which sidebar, speaking of no names, how cool is the name Johnny Vegas?
Yes. Dude.
Like, and the dude looks like a 50-year-old dad out there, just like playing golf with his sons, you know.
It's like a nickname that you'd give to like the 75-year-old grandpa that was like fought in World War II and just gambles in blackjack every weekend.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Or like a poker player that just runs the whole town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny Vegas.
Johnny Vegas.
Dude chose the wrong profession.
Yeah, no kidding. He needs to be in Vegas, you know. No, and so let's go over and recap what we picked last week. I had 2 that missed the cut line on Friday.
Oh, you mean our like pick picks?
Yeah.
I see. Which I will say, even with regards to that, I did mention in our group text, I called way back in February, Rory winning the Players.
Yes, you did.
And then Rom winning the PGA. And at one point in time, Rom was tied for the lead. This was on Saturday.
Yep.
And I was like, no way is this gonna. So and to be fair, also, we all naturally predicted Scotty would win a major this year. So by default, we technically all got that right as well. So we're cooking right now. Look out for Tom Kim, everybody.
Dude, Tom Kim
and Victor Hovland.
US Open.
They're coming.
So and I can't get into whose team picked who, but I can go over just the top of our little fantasy group here.
Yes.
PD wins with 290 points.
Yep.
I don't think he had anybody get cut. And so I think that's essentially how he won by
Other
so much.
than the one that didn't matter, like the Michael Block group of people.
Yeah, but
because none of them made the cut.
Well, oh yeah, you're right. That would have been him. Yep. Because he only scored 6 points for him.
Right.
Mark, you scored 264. Team Hurdle and Team Sipe. So me and Brett tied. I don't know how that happens. Unless we had exactly the same roster, which we might have. It's actually looking that way.
That's funny.
261. That is funny.
Yeah,
Did he listen to the podcast the night before when he just wanted to do this to screw with me? Is that what it was?
I doubt Brett's too competitive to have like purposely picked the same guys, but I will say that I am a little frustrated that you couldn't see other people's teams.
Yeah.
Like, but whatever.
It's dumb. PH with 256, Allen with 247, and Dave, poor Dave, 193. Didn't even break the 200 mark.
Huh?
Father-in-law Dave?
No.
Dave William,
Yeah.
the old PD.
The OG PD.
OG PD.
And so, congrats, PD. And,
NG PD. New gangsta.
This was new gangsta. This was one of the tournaments that I was really looking forward to watching, and I didn't get an opportunity to watch a whole lot of it. And honestly, I'm kind of happy this was the one that I didn't really get to watch much of. It was kind of boring.
I will say the first 9 on Sunday got exciting at points, but it seemed like anytime someone was making a charge, then they'd get a bogey or something and fall back. Either that or Scotty would get a bogey and then turn right around and birdie, and then it's just like Scotty,
straight Scotty fashion.
Stop being so good at recovering on like you need to fall apart for a hole or two,
like 3
and
holes.
then get it back together. But. I will say the worst thing in golf is when, you're going into those final 3-4 holes and it's a foregone conclusion. And it's just like, all he really has to do is not be me.
Yeah.
Like
Just
as
don't
long
hit
as
the
he
water 3
doesn't
times.
play like Mark,
Yep.
he will be fine. And sure enough, like bogey's 18 and the most anticlimactic, putt ever. Like, did he even celebrate after?
He gave he tipped his hat and kind of gave a fist bump, and that was it.
yeah.
It
It wasn't like a woo or like
No.
fall to the ground, start crying. Like
No.
none of that. Like it was
And
just
this was
like
his first one at the PGA Championship too.
first
Like,
PGA.
and
Yep.
he was just like, whatever. Like I knew I was going to come in here and beat some ass today.
Yep.
Like,
And he did.
Whatever.
And again,
DeChambeau
what redemption?
fell apart, which that sucked. I really wanted to see him get a little bit closer to the
Still
leader.
got second though.
Yeah, tied with like what 3 or 4 other people. There's a lot.
I think it was 3.
Yeah. So yeah, this weekend was fun with golf. The next one, the U.S. Open Father's Day weekend, June 14th.
And my family is gone, so I
Darn
don't get
it.
to watch all the
Darn
golf
it.
I want.
You have to watch all the golf. Damn
Yep.
it.
Which that was the one I predicted Tom Kim. So
Here we go, Tommy.
watch out.
And so yeah, golf was fun. If I was gonna miss a major watching it this year, this one was to miss.
PGA is always, in my opinion, the worst one.
Yeah, which is why I think they should do the players being. I mean, if they're going to replace one of them, replace
Sure.
the PGA with the players, which won't happen.
Yeah.
I did find it funny, and then we can get on to Wicked Fest, that it's called the PGA Championship,
But they allow live players in.
but they allow live players.
Yeah.
Like, is that not a weird thing? I know
Yeah.
it's a major, one of the 4 majors, and that was one of the big things, like when they
Right.
came back, was to be able to play in the majors.
Yeah.
But it's called the PGA Championship.
If anything, they need to change the name to the Pro Golf Championship, not Pro Golf Association
Right.
Championship.
Or just call it just straight the championship.
Yeah.
And I think that would be kind of cool. I mean, you get
Yeah.
it a little bit prestigious.
The players, the championship.
The Masters.
Yeah. No.
The championship.
Yeah. I like it.
And then you have the U.S. Open. And then you have the Open.
Yep.
And then you have the
Which I will still
FedEx
say,
Cup.
the Open is still like, I get it's traditional to call it the Open,
Yeah.
but just call it the UK Open.
Oh, I know, because the U.S., the U.K. Yeah. No, good for Scotty. And I love to see that he's still super humble. I did share a video of John Rahm on Facebook talking about his play after. And I think he said some amazing things to hear from a pro athlete in today's world. He actually referenced Charles Barkley and said, a lot of the times I used to get really, really worked up about my golf game, especially in majors, especially in tournaments. And I have to keep reminding myself that I get paid a living to play a game.
Yep.
And that's just such a heartwarming perspective coming from a pro athlete that's not beating himself up because he's not performing at the highest rank. And it's like, no, I get to do this for a living, and I'm still playing well enough to continue doing it.
That's how I feel whenever somebody like my brother-in-law Jake asks me, like, wait, you get money from your podcast? It's like, yeah, but I'm not in it for the money, Jake. I do podcasting because I love podcasting and drinking beer with my friends.
I get to drink beer and meat for at least a couple hours every Wednesday night, and we get paid to do
And if we get paid, a couple $100 a year, then fine. And that's it.
It's supporting some beer and some merch. And
That's
we're
right.
getting some merch.
That's right.
By the way, I really hope our shirts are in by next week.
Yeah.
For the finale.
Me too. Please, dear God, let those
Yes.
be in because, I want to debut those things. Yeah, exactly.
Pope
Pray.
Francis.
Pope Leo, Pope Leo.
Well, Pope Francis in heaven.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, okay.
Pope Francis in
Help
heaven.
us support your successor by getting our shirts in
Wait a minute.
by next week.
Pope Leo's what, the 14th?
14.
14th Pope Leo.
Pope Leo the 13th, please.
And they always say all the popes are successors to St. Peter. So St. Peter, please.
Jesus.
Go ahead and throw a Hail Mary up to
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
all haggard, so.
Yep. No, so
Father Charlie's there too. I mean, we've got a lot of coverage.
Yeah.
we
Sister
got
Barb.
we got a band up there. So yeah, thank you. I don't know who I was thanking there. I don't know.
Shipping people from China.
Yeah. Thank you, little workers, for helping us next week, I hope. No, next week is our season 8 finale though, so tune in. We'll throw some stuff in the social medias this week.
Yep.
And I'll probably remind me at the very end of the show to announce it again in case people are like, "Oh, PGA, screw that."
Yep.
So, Wicked Fest, just to wrap up topic number 1, and we'll move into topic number 2. Wicked Fest was a success. Super busy downtown. There are some things I know that we're going to have to work on for next year's, just to make it run a little bit smoother. And honestly, I think we need something more in the afternoon. The cornhole was a good filler, but it didn't bring a whole lot of people downtown.
Sure.
And everybody was kind of done around 4:30 or 5. I think we finally took the barricades down at around 6, that's what the permit was out for. But I think it has the opportunity to be a full-on all-day event, like 6 a.m. to 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And so we have a lot of planning to do. We're going to have a recap meeting on Friday to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. And honestly, I don't think there was a whole lot of ugly. I don't think there's a whole lot of bad. I think there's just a little bit of tweaks here and there. And with us not having just 3 months to plan it, I think next year we'll really get it started. But it was so cool though to talk to the bike racers when they came back in, and they'd go over to the beer garden, have a beer. They would start to talk to us. My mom and dad talked to a lot of people. Frank and Linda Schulte was down there. They talked to a lot of the bike racers, and it was really cool to hear the feedback from them. They're like, we've been to a lot of races around, and we've been to this one now 2 or 3 times. And what a turnaround you guys have done, as a whole community to support this race. And you know, there was a guy from the Netherlands that flew in from the Netherlands.
I believe it.
Flew his bike in and everything to race this one track. I'm really fearful that this is the smallest that Wicked Wilson bike race, gravel race is ever going to be.
I mean, it's a good fear though.
Yes.
Because it's work is what you're saying.
It's going to be a huge event. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of that goes into it over the next 5 to 10 years.
Yep.
I mean, it could turn into a race that we have 300 to 400 bike racers in town. That's exactly how.
Not to mention your 5K.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. In the 5K, I had 86 that signed up. I think around 80 participated.
Right. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. And it was honestly though, you and Andy Ockenpaul, who's a new dad, that just got caught up in dad stuff that day. And then there was 3 people from Victoria that registered that didn't show up. And I think that was it. Like that was all the people that didn't get their shirts. And so really, really a crazy good turnout. I mentioned it on the day of, like, I was expecting success as like 40 people max. And there was 86 people that signed up to do this event. And beyond grateful. I'm hoping my expectation next year isn't going to be 100. It's going to be like, if I can get 65, I'm going to be really happy.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people that are just like, yeah, I did that once. I'm done.
Right.
But I talked to a lot of the runners that are like, hey, this was a freaking really cool event. I'm going to go back and tell all my friends to sign up next year. So,
Yeah.
The runners, I think, got more fun out of it than like the walkers. Some of the walkers really enjoyed it too. But the best feedback I got the whole weekend was that she was talking to me. She said, "You put this on?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "How did you think of this idea?" And I said, "Honestly, it's been brewing for a while." I said, "I wanted to throw on a 5K."
Brewing.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
It's been brewing for a while, and I wanted to do a 5K in town for a long time. And this event, it needed another race. I wanted to put something together. I said, I know I chatted about it with my podcast. I chatted about it with my one of my coaches at track, and Mickey was actually the one who was like, well, don't just do a 5K. Like, give some other options. Do a 2 mile, do a 1 mile. And I was like, and that's where the idea brew. And then I was like, and plus somebody else was like, well, what if they don't want to drink alcoholic beverages? All right, yeah, drink some Suds or drink some Sprite, drink some Diet Zero, whatever.
Denise was doing Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, exactly. And that was one of the things that she was like, I really enjoyed you encouraging people to walk, to jog, to push strollers, to rollerblade. She even mentioned like, yeah, you wanted somebody to rollerblade. And I was like, yeah, unfortunately he had a little accident.
He broke his arms.
And so that was really good feedback to hear, because that's what I wanted it to be. I wanted it not to just be another running event, because everybody knows 5K and people that participate in them. And if you are one of those, you see somebody walk and you're like, you're walking a 5K. Like, is that I didn't want that race to be that.
Right.
And so,
Well, and I love the idea. I think you said this, if not, it was Katie, but just like, yeah, even making it one of those where not only is it unique because of the beer, like I've heard of beer miles and stuff before.
Yeah.
But like this is truly like do a lap, chug a beer, do a lap, chug a beer, but it ends up being a 5K, which makes it unique in of itself. But then, yeah, like part of the fun of like marathons and stuff like that are when people dress up, whether they're in a banana suit or they're dressed like Forrest Gump and stuff like that.
Yes.
And so even turning this into, like maybe you have a competition for like best costume that goes along with that, or maybe even like, yes, you're chugging your beer and that goes towards your total time, but maybe you also time everybody's beers to see who's like the fastest chugger. So even though like, and that would be a lot of work and you'd need a lot of stopwatches and stuff like that, but that could be a case where it's like, yeah, maybe you took like 7th in your group as a total, but you were the first when it came to chugging. So here's your ribbon for being the fastest chugger in your age group, or something like that. Like you could do all sorts of crazy things with this as it grows and gets bigger and you get more volunteers and stuff like that.
Which I think I'm already going to try to do some type of award system next year. This year it was like, your award is finishing without puking. Good job.
Yeah.
Dude, Brandon won the race.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you told me this.
He shotgunned every beer and he ran an 18:25 5K.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Which is bananas.
I can't even run like 21 and he runs an 18 with 3 beers.
Yeah. No thanks.
Yep. Nope.
Brandon,
He's a machine.
You're crazy, dude. And he hasn't ran in like 3 years, he said. So unreal. Suds Run, complete success. Cornhole tournament, we had 13 teams. Almost had a fight in the championship round.
Which
I've
was that
never
like a
seen that.
rules thing or like what? Like you don't have to go into like full detail, but
Just talking shit.
oh, okay.
But 2 guys that know each other.
I didn't know if it was like a you stepped over the line and like one of those.
No, it was 2 guys talking shit to each other, and one normally kind of like just doesn't say anything. And that day was like, I'm not taking this shit today, and started chirping back. And then the other guy just got like super defensive, and like they were like going nose to nose. And I walked over to him and put my hand on both their backs because I know them both. Not the one guy better than the other, but anyway, I looked down both. I said, "Quit your talking." I said, if you're gonna be talking shit to each other, then you're not playing, and I don't care if this pays out first and second place today. So if you keep doing this, in the next 30 seconds we're gonna start this, and if it continues, the tournament's over, and I'm keeping all the money. And they were both like, "Oh yeah, okay." And then they switched, and they didn't have to throw against each other anymore, so they didn't have to hear each other talk.
There you go.
And I was like, okay. But I've never seen 2 grown-ass men talking enough shit on cornhole to almost get into a fist fight.
As someone who runs a bingo fundraiser, bingo ladies are terrifying, bro. Don't F with a bingo lady. They take their crap serious, and they don't care if a 6th grader is calling the numbers. They will eat him alive. I've witnessed it firsthand.
Hell yeah.
The nursing home ladies with my mom, and that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. There's some serious adults out there, which might be a trend we don't understand.
No, it might be a game that we don't understand.
That too.
That we might have to draft here. And oh yeah, topic number 2. All right, last week in topic 3, we did a card game draft.
Yep.
This week we're doing board games. Snake style. Do we need any ground rules? Can they have cards in the board game?
I think as long as you have, essentially like pieces and the board.
Okay.
Whether it's cards or dice or whatever, that doesn't matter.
Who gets to go first this week?
Well, you went first last time. So
You said not Hannah?
Not Hannah.
So tell you what, let's go opposite. I'll go first, then Hannah, then you, since you got first last time. So
All right.
I will go ahead and just take my personal favorite game of all time. I played it with my grandmother a lot. My kids enjoy this. It was one of the few like computer like games that I had that resembled a board game and all that sort of stuff. But I like board games where you can screw people over. So I'm going to take Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry is a good time. I love Sorry. You know, when you roll the dice and you have multiple pieces out on the board and you're just like, If I go 3 spaces here, I eliminate Hannah. If I go 3 spaces here, I eliminate Chris. Which one do I want to screw over? Like, it's just part of the fun.
Hell yeah.
I'll take sorry.
I like that. Is it still sorry or is it sorry?
Sorry. Yeah, because we're Canadian.
Sorry. Anyway, sorry.
Sorry.
PH, go.
Oh, good Lord. Like I have a time with this because like we didn't do a lot of board. Most of our games were card games,
Yep.
not
Yeah.
board games. But the competitive nature of the Haggard Trio, Trivial Pursuit.
Ooh, I heard about this one.
So like
I've never played it.
like getting the 6 wedges, like Dad was so, oh my God. Like, and you wonder where I get it from. It was from him because he's like, I know this. So, and then when they came out with Bible Trivial Pursuit,
Oh no.
watch out. So just any of the Trivial Pursuits, we always had a good time with that.
I need to start playing some more board games. But board game that I fell in love with last year. Well, because we introduced gambling into it, not just drinking.
Oh, sure.
But it's horse race, baby.
Okay.
That's a board
I
game.
guess I would give that a board game. Sure.
Yeah, it's a board.
You're rolling dice. You're moving pieces.
You have
yeah.
horses, you
Yeah.
have
Okay.
cards,
Good,
and
good sneaky pick.
and you have dice.
Yes. No, good
That's a
sneaky
board
pick.
And
Yeah.
alcohol. Good
Or
sneaky
horse game,
alcohol.
I would definitely view as a board game. Sure.
Yeah. And
I
that
mean,
you
it's,
can-
it's not a card. I mean, there are cards, but it's not a card game.
Right. You're not actively
board game.
playing the cards.
Yeah. Like, it's no different than, like, sorry, like sometimes, and I'll just bury this, and if someone wants to steal it, you can. Sorry is the exact same game as Trouble as well.
Oh, yeah.
The difference is sorry, you're flipping over cards, which tells you how many spaces you get to move, whereas Trouble, you're doing the little, like,
Yep.
little bubble
yep.
dice, and that tells you how many spaces you're moving. But the game itself is exactly the same. But yeah, that's the thing is you're doing which horse gets to move one space forward.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not a card game; it is a board game.
Thank you.
Good sneaky pick. I
Thank
like
you.
it. I will actually take, and this is super old school and super lame, but for some reason as a kid, I always loved this game. And the way I played it, because as we all know, kids do this at every park you ever go to. So what direction do your kids go on the slide?
Oh.
They go up. That's
yeah.
right. So when I play Chutes and Ladders,
Damn it.
you go up the slide and you fall down the ladder.
Dang it.
But I will take Chutes and Ladders as my second pick.
Son of a gun.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to Google board games real quick.
That's totally where I'm at.
And actually, that's not true because now I'm very adamant to my kids. No, you don't climb the slide. You go
Yep.
down.
Yeah,
You
I've
know,
heard
because
you
I'm
say
trying.
that, and I'm thinking, let Jack go up.
But no, when I was a kid, I definitely climbed the slide and went down the ladders.
All right.
All right. I guess like I'm literally looking at games because I don't remember like what I used to play, and I know what I'm not picking. So, would you consider Categories a board game?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, excellent. Categories. Another thing, it's that competitive nature with mom and dad, and like coming up with a letter and coming up with these 12 things, and then trying not to get the same one. Like Dad would just like with hand and foot, he would just take his time and come up with the right answer. And then he'd be, oh yeah,
Strategize.
Yeah, it was fun. But
Yep.
anyway, so I'll take Categories.
So I am legit Googling just to be like, oh yeah, I know that game.
Yes.
And that's a good one. But I haven't seen this one. I just thought I'd bring it up. It's not my pick.
Okay.
It's called Get Churched.
Get church.
Yes.
Let us please find out about
Okay.
that one.
We need to find that one. It's a Christian, I don't know.
By the
culture
way,
game.
just because I'm looking at the box, one game that did not make it on our list last week that I kind of oddly forgot about, and I'm a little shocked no one else took it. Cards Against Humanity.
Oh my gosh.
Great card game.
Wow.
Or Cards Against anything. Cards Against
yeah.
Disney, Cards Against
Yeah.
Catholics, like whatever you
So-
got.
Cards
So-
Against Golden Girls. I mean,
Yeah.
Board game that, I mean, it's an obvious one. It's a classic. And I think it's going to get a lot of votes on this this poll that we're going to have with my picks here.
Mm-hmm.
Horse race is probably not a good one for my poll. But I want
Well,
to win everybody back
The
here.
people who vote on these polls are people we know, and all the people we know horse race.
True.
So you
Very
might
true.
actually just have the one that you need.
Okay. Checkers.
Yeah. I love checkers.
It's a classic.
Yep.
You played as a kid, easy to teach.
Yep.
I suck at it, still enjoy playing it. I built 2 checkerboards in high school.
I love
One fell
checkers.
apart. I had to rebuild it, but I have a table
Yep.
upstairs.
So my next one, which you have to think of this a little bit differently because the original version of this was a board game, but I don't believe it's a board game anymore. No.
No.
It's catchphrase. So catchphrase, it used to be when you passed it around, whoever like was left holding it, like the other team got like the point and they got to move forward on the board is how you played the game. Whereas now it's very much like heads up where you just try to like get as many as you can. But in the original catchphrase, yeah, your team sits like me and Hannah would be on a team, you and Derek would be on a team, and you pass it around. And as you play, yeah, if you're left holding it, the other team moves forward and it's like first to like 7 or whatever it is. But it was technically a board game.
You know what? I think I'll allow it. Hannah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're allowed.
You had a board in pieces.
I would just like to insert some breaking news at the moment.
Uh-oh.
The Eastern Finals Game 1 has gone to overtime.
Oh, well, Knicks will still win, so I'm not worried about
Great. Gambling all of our hard-worked money away.
Nah, we'll be good.
No.
Our hard drank money away.
Honestly, Brett might have been drunk enough he might not actually remember that. So if he's like, weren't we using the podcast? I'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. I think you were hammered.
He's going to be, after he pays us, he's going to be down in the truck, like down I-70, listening to the podcast, trying to get caught up and be like, what the hell? Hell yeah. I love that.
So I have another one, and I've got a couple more. Do we consider Yahtzee a board game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it had a board and cards and dice too, right?
All right.
Yes.
Well, then
Yeah,
I'm taking Yahtzee.
Yep.
I like that. I know the
Because
game.
you have to fill up the board.
I know the game, but I've never played it.
Oh, it's just so
So
fun.
we weren't big board game guys, I guess.
We played games. That's just what we did.
Yeah.
So hence my next pick, okay?
Okay.
We're not big board games, but this was a game
Are you writing these down, by the way?
Of course.
that we bought when we went to a restaurant because I would stay there and almost not even eat because I was playing this game. It's technically on a block of wood, but a board
Peg jump.
with tees. Yep, jump
Yeah.
ball, the tee game.
Okay.
Cracker Barrel.
That I mean, it's a single player board
Are we
game.
thinking like, oh, okay. Okay. I was thinking it's something different.
It's the one that's a triangle, and you have
yes.
Tees.
Yes.
yeah, and you just
Okay.
jump the tees.
That did just make me think of another board game, which is really fun, but I'll just put it in my honorable mentions.
Which I think I know which one. It still has tees in it, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I saw that one, and I never played it. Cathfly, fast track board game.
I mean,
wooden-
that's not what I call it.
3,
if it's,
6
if it's what I
something.
think it is.
it has different colors. Look at that right there. Has green, yellow, blue, orange,
No,
white, red.
that's not what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
So you're good.
Okay.
Also, I just same as you. I just typed in board games. That I don't know like half.
I
of
know.
these.
That's what I'm saying. We did not play board games as families. I don't
Well,
think.
but these are all like new. Like, yeah, I've never heard of these.
Okay.
These are goofy ass games.
So that was 3. What's your-
Although there are some that I kind of forgot about, and now that I'm seeing these, I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. But no, my last one is Clue. I love Clue. Clue's also a fantastic movie.
that'd be your
Fantastic
4th
play.
pick. Are we doing 4?
Yeah,
Oh shoot.
I was doing 4 because we did four.
always
We
do
did 4
4.
card
did.
games.
Derek's not here.
We did. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry.
3 when Derek's here, 4 when he's not here, unless the topic's really good. But no, I will take Clue as my final one. Clue's a good time.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, Anna.
Scrabble.
Scrabble.
Yeah, I knew someone would take Scrabble. I hate Scrabble though.
The spelling nerd in me loves it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I think it. Yeah, that's definitely a board game. This just took me back to like early childhood for me. So late 90s.
Okay.
Mousetrap.
Yeah. We just got that game.
Did you really?
Yeah, for Christmas.
I love that.
I hate that game though because So first of all,
There's so many pieces to it.
well, first of all, I did not realize that the way the game was played is like as you go around the board, you like build it as you go. But like naturally, like I built the whole thing. And so like
just
just
do it.
as the dad, that's such a pain in the butt. It's like I have to set this
Yes.
up in order to even like play this. But
Yep.
then here's the other thing I realized. The cheese doesn't mean anything. Like you collect cheese throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
But the whole point of the game is just to be the last one to not get caught. So like I guess the cheese could be used as a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Like if the last two people get caught at the same time, then whoever has the most cheese wins. But like that's stupid. I hate that.
I think we just played it. We didn't play by the rules. We just built it to
Yeah,
like,
just make your own rules.
yeah, and trap the mice is really what it came down to. All right, so there's our 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
So no,
say,
all
do
good.
You have an honorable mention?
I have a couple honorable mention. First of all, I love Candyland, but Candyland is the dumbest of all time because as soon as you get like whatever the like fudge one is, which is right next to Candy Castle, it's like yeah, you win. Like so that game just comes down to who gets the lucky one that you get to skip the entire board or whatever, which
Yeah,
is really
I
stupid.
don't know what you're talking about. I just know the game.
Okay. And then my other one, crap, what was it now? I got distracted because I was looking at these other games. So, like, for example, I don't consider Connect 4 a board game, but it
No.
has this listed as a board game.
See, but
Oh,
what,
Hi Ho Cheerio. That was a lot of fun back when I was a
what
little
would
kid,
you
too.
call Connect 4 though? It is a game.
It's
Just a kids game.
It's just a game.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like it's not a board game because it's
There's
not
no
a board
board.
in pieces.
Yeah.
It's not a card game because it's not like just played with a deck of cards. Yeah.
It'd be like dice. Dice is just a game. It's not
Right. And that's why like I was weird with catchphrase because I was like, I know technically nowadays catchphrase is not a board game,
It's
but
all
the
on the
original
phone.
version of it was a board game. Oblocus is fun. That's our new game.
That's a good one.
Katie and I play that a lot. Sorry, I'm just looking through. The Game of Life, always a good time.
Yep.
Enjoy the Game of Life. I hate sequins. Screw sequins.
Because I was also thinking like charades.
Because in that game
not a
you
board
can't
game.
talk. You can't talk in sequins.
Yeah.
And I despise that. Obviously, the one we're not talking about is Monopoly.
The one
'cause
that we all hate.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was
going to
be real mad if someone took Monopoly. Where? Hold on, it's on here.
What was the Cataton? Was that a
Catan?
card game?
Catan?
Catan?
That's what I was thinking. Chinese checkers. Like that
Ooh.
game's also really fun.
Yeah.
With the pegs and like you jump people and then but like it's like a 6-person checkers.
Yes.
You have to get across. Yeah. Chinese checkers is a lot of fun.
That's a good one. What is it, a board game or is that more of a card game?
Settlers of Catan.
Yes, Settlers.
I'm pretty sure it's considered a board game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's another one that I just thought of. What are dominoes considered?
See, I almost picked Chicken Foot, but it's almost just dominoes, so it's almost just a game. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some times where you build a board to keep it all,
Right.
but it's not necessarily like a board game.
Yeah.
Of chicken, like our next game, like the game night that we have this summer, it has to be like a 24-hour game night.
Yes. Yeah.
I
It's
mean-
gonna be
24 straight
Dude.
hours.
That's the next festival or a festival in town. We just have a bunch of like board games downtown.
I will say one of my favorite bars I ever went to, and I don't even remember where it was. It might even be like Lawrence or Manhattan or something
Yeah.
like that. But it's literally a bar, and it's just it's board games. Just that's all it is.
We could have
do
a
board games for the youth group in Independence all the time.
Mm-hmm.
that. I think that could be so much fun,
Yeah.
and like have
A board game bar.
or just
A game bar, I should call it. But
Yeah.
it was card games, board games, Connect 4, like
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff.
But
yeah.
we could have a festival downtown, like just a block
Mm-hmm.
that you have tables set up all the way down, beer garden,
Yep.
live music, and food, and just play board games or card games or whatever.
Yep.
You
I'm gonna
also
bring
throw
that-
cornhole in there.
Yep, I'm gonna bring that to the promotions committee for downtown. Here we
love
go. All right.
Which
Oh.
sorry.
I was just gonna say my honorable mention is Battleship.
Battleship.
Which again,
That's
is that
a good one.
considered a board game?
when you look it up on Google, it says it is. Although
Yeah.
it
I
also
mean-
said Connect 4 was, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna consider it a board game, then I would like it.
I mean,
to
I
be
guess-
honorable mention.
Yeah.
I guess
Because you kinda have
technically
to board.
the hits and misses, you're on like a board that,
That
you're
you're
like your ships
putting-
around. I guess, yeah,
You're
Battleship
putting
would work.
markers down where you can't.
I'll give it a
see
board
the-
game
Yeah.
thumbs up.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. It passes.
thank you.
No, what I was going to say, Sipe, we've done yard games, haven't we?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we did Beersby, we did like,
Yeah.
Y-
Darts.
yeah, can
Cornhole.
jam, all that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I was like, we've done yard games.
Yep.
So we've done yard games, we've done card games, we've done board games,
What's next?
drinking games, obviously.
Yes.
I know lots of good drinking games.
I actually did not do a lot of drinking games. I know that's not shocking, but
Well, it kind of is a little bit, but
it's only because you know me now.
true. Okay. Fair. That's
Horse
fair.
race is a drinking game.
Maybe we tie that into next week's finale where
We could.
it's like, all right, now what's your favorite drinking game?
Mm-hmm.
Like for each guest.
Could.
I like it. All right. With that, we're going into topic number 3. All right.
I just realized I'm out of beer, so do you need one?
No, I'm good so far.
Okay. So we are going to discuss trends that we either like don't understand. You see this trend around, whether it's fashion, whether it's the hair, whatever it is, like a trend you don't quite understand. Maybe even just like an activity people do. So we don't understand it. We think it's dumb. We think it's stupid, or just simply a trend we don't like. Like even if it's a case where maybe you appreciate the trend from whether it's a pop culture standpoint or whatever, but something that you just simply don't like for whatever reason. So because I mentioned the pop culture thing, I will go ahead and just put this out there, because while I do think the trend itself is fun, I don't like the end result, which is basically like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not like graffiti, or you're trashing the place or whatever. But the whole like chicken jockey trend
Yes.
with the Minecraft thing,
Yep.
like that's fun. I get it. Like he says chicken jockey and everyone loses their minds. But why do you have to throw popcorn and soda and candy all
Yeah.
over the place that you're then not going to clean up yourself, and someone else who's getting paid minimum wage has to go do that? Like, I don't like that trend
Yep.
because of the result. But if you could do that trend without the destruction that occurs, I'd be all about the chicken jockey trend.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
So things like that.
Yeah. One thing I don't understand is junior high boys getting perms.
Like my son.
Like your son. Does Reese look better? Or like does he look good with the perm? Yes.
What's funny is he's
Yeah.
naturally like he would not have that amount of curl, but he has naturally like
Wavy.
wavy
Yeah, yeah.
hair, whereas my hair is just like straight.
Yeah.
I think
So-
for the boys that have some of that natural curl, that it doesn't look quite right unless you do something different with it, with like cutting it or product or whatever.
Yep.
Like, I'm all about it.
But it's
Did I think my boys were stupid for doing it when I was their youth leader? Absolutely.
but it's to the point now, like when it gets down into like elementary school.
Which we have seen it in our own friend group.
Yes. And then it becomes like more of it. I saw a meme the other day, and now I cannot stop thinking about it. Every time I see a little boy, they look like alpacas. Like their mouths are open, almost drooling, and then they have this curly top, and that's it, just
Yeah.
this curly top, and they have this like just drooling look, like.
Here's where I think you, or really just us as men, could go with that trend or any of these other types of trends with regards to your hair. If this is something more than a haircut,
Yes.
as a man, you shouldn't do it. So like, for example,
Saltwater.
we grew up in the 90s. Frosted tips were all the
Yeah,
rage,
bleach
right?
blonde, yep.
But you know who never had frosted tips? Me, because I'm not going to the salon and getting my hair highlighted like I'm a woman.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, so same thing with the perm.
Rolling around.
I'm a boy. I'm going to go and get a haircut. If my hair isn't naturally curly to achieve the whatever look I'm trying to achieve,
Yep.
guess what? I just don't get that. I got the short end of the stick there.
Well, I guess there's a lot more upkeep than just like washing it and going to bed. Like Sadie was telling me that with Colt's hair, they have to spritz it with salt water
Oh my god.
to like keep the rigidity.
Already annoyed.
Done. Sorry. Which
I'll go ahead and just add to that because this could go along with the fact that it's like a trickle down effect.
Hey,
to
real
the
quick.
younger- Yep.
Elliot was growing his hair out to get a perm, and right at the like 9th hour, I was like, Elliot, you know girls get perms, and he was like, yeah, I don't want one.
Yeah. See, there you go.
Dodged the bullet.
Trickle down effect. Parents who just let their kids have cell phones.
Yes.
Like, I get that you maybe don't always want to be a parent to your kid. It's easier to stick them in front of a screen
Yep.
or a controller. Like, I was a video game kid. Like, I fully understand that if my parents wanted me to shut up for hours on end, they'd be like, go play your Nintendo.
Yep.
And I would. But the fact of the matter is you are literally putting information in their
Yes.
pocket. Like, at least your boys, when you're like, go play the Switch, they're playing Mario Kart.
Exactly.
They're making memories. They're having a good time. Like, they're doing something that's activating their brain, and like, they're learning controls, and like they're getting better
Strategy
in
and-
time trials.
Yep.
And but like, you're just handing a kid the internet to then watch mindless videos.
Yep.
That I don't understand. Stupid trend.
Well, and dude, I saw what was he? It's probably 3rd grade, 2nd grader.
Oh,
the other
I've
day.
seen kids as young as kindergartners with
like
cell phones.
legit his own personal phone.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no.
$1,200 phone in the hands of a 6-year-old.
Nope.
Like, you kidding me?
Sorry. Not getting behind that one.
Nope.
What's the trend, Hannah?
And for all those parents who are like, well, this is so I can keep track of them.
No,
I'm
it's
like,
not.
are you letting them leave the house unattended? They're 6. Where could they go?
Need to make sure he's not smoking cigarettes. Wait a minute, what?
What are you doing? And guess what? When we were kids, we were fine. And granted, like, look, I get the world is a dangerous place. I'm very nervous about my girls anytime that they're even take too long to go around the block, that some guy in a van swooped up and nabbed them, and now they're halfway to wherever.
Yep.
I get that. But also, when I was 9, 10 years old, I'd ride my bike halfway across town, and I was still home in time for dinner. Like,
Yep.
I made it.
Yep. I know.
There you go.
I've been thinking about this all day, and I don't know that I have anything specific that I can come up with right off the top of my head. Like, so I'm gonna keep listening to you two.
Okay. You want
Okay.
to hear my next one?
Yep, go.
Bet.
Oh, just like,
Bet.
I don't mind bet. That's
No.
okay.
And teenage slang in general.
Okay, teenage is fine. But a trend that I don't understand is that when people literally like 4 or 5 years younger than me are going, bet.
It's
Facts.
because their kids are doing it.
I know, but dude, are you kidding me?
I love fax no printer. I think that's so funny.
That's fine. But when we get into like that
Oh, that's fax.
no, hold
no
on.
printer.
See, but that's like even like 3 or 4 years old now.
Oh no, now people cringe when
Yeah.
I do that. I'm just like, no, I love it. I'm keeping
Exactly.
that forever. Bye, Felicia.
What's there's like the whole Skibbity Ohio toilet stuff.
Yeah.
See, like that, I don't know.
No,
It's just
yeah.
nonsense. And I get like when we were in growing up, like we had our own slang too.
Right.
Like that's dope or that's chill or like all the stuff that if I said it in front of my kids in front of their friends, to be like, Dad, seriously, like stop. And I get we all have those moments when we're growing up that we have our own language.
Yeah.
But when it's Skibbity Ohio toilet, that's just a whole new language. Like that's alpha.
Yeah.
There's I don't know them all clearly,
Yeah.
but
Well, there's like, you're a Chad, you're a Karen, you're a, like all this sort of stuff.
or talking to a camera and just saying chat all the time. And I get that's from the streamer world. But now chat isn't just like the actual chat. It's like, hey, chat, like almost like fam.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Dude, I'm learning a lot as a coach right now.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say I haven't heard that one, but yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas my youngest kid from youth group just graduated high school, and I've not been around them for the
Yep.
last 4 years. Like I've been out of it, so I have no idea. But let me tell you, when them boys, they would have water fights in the bathroom. They would do
Yeah.
all sorts of nonsense. I'm like, what?
Why?
Is the point?
Yeah.
Why are you going to get kicked out of school
Mm-hmm.
for having a water fight in the bathroom? Well, Hannah, I'm like, no.
The amount of just stupidity, and like, it's really funny because I was in Colorado and we were at the Great Wolf Lodge, and I had no arms, so I couldn't enjoy like water slides and all that sort of stuff as much as I wanted. So I basically just followed Jack around the whole
Right.
time and just made sure he didn't die.
Which got you in trouble the first time.
That's a full-time job.
Right.
But you got him in trouble the first time.
But
That's why he has no arms.
that's true. It's also true. But it did allow me to like people watch a lot. And like the amount of like, the high school boys or like college kids running around that like just even just the inner conversations between them, like I recognized it of like, oh God, that was me, like type of a thing. But just listening to the stuff they think is so cool or so funny, and you're just like, dude, any normal person with any sorts of life experience or logic is like, dude, tell me you're dumb without telling me you're dumb. Like, tell me you're immature without telling me you're immature. Like, and oh my God, the amount, and here's my favorite, and this is a trend that I don't understand because Chris, I'll even just ask you, because maybe it was just me, maybe I was the unicorn.
Okay.
When you drank in whatever, high school, college, whatever,
College.
when you went, or let's even just say you're not even 21 yet.
Okay.
When you sent someone who was 21 to buy you booze,
Yeah.
what did you ask them to get? Like, what was your order?
Coors Light.
Okay, but like what? Like,
Oh, 30 pack.
okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I went to the liquor store 2 nights ago and there was literally a group of like 20 college kids. Because obviously they were old enough to buy alcohol.
Right.
And all of them, I think the largest pack I saw was a 12 pack.
What?
The largest one I saw was a 12 pack. Most of them had like
What?
4 or 6. And then on top of that, they all also, I'm assuming this is what it was, I don't know for sure, had a chaser with it. Because
Oh
some of
my
them had
God.
Gatorade, some of them had Coke, some of them had like all this other stuff. But here's the thing, they weren't buying like a bottle of whiskey and a Coke. They were buying like a Four Loko and a Gatorade. And I'm just like, what are we doing? What are we doing, children?
I mean, staying hydrated, I guess.
I don't. But my immediate thought is like when I saw the one person put like the 4-pack up, and it was like a nice, handsome looking dude.
Yeah.
Who went to the gym.
Goes to the gym,
probably
yeah,
was a
yeah.
high school jock. I wanted to be like, hey man, what are you gonna do in an hour when you're out of those 4 drinks that you have?
You have to stumble back in.
You
here.
gotta come, like. Or is it bar time when that, like, are you going to the bars at 9? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. That's
It's
wild.
7:30 and you're buying 4 cans. What are you doing? So no, I'm happy you answered the question correctly because
Yeah.
mine was at least a 30 pack,
Yes.
if not 2.
Yeah, because you had to fill up your fridge, and that was for like your stash.
Yeah,
Because-
that wasn't for the party. That was
No.
just for me.
yeah, that was your stash that it was going to go to the party, and then you're going to have a few left over. I mean, obviously, a 30 pack's a lot to drink one night.
My literal phrase in college, especially freshman year.
Yeah.
30 pack Friday, 30 pack Saturday.
Wow,
Yep.
I couldn't do that.
Oh, I was 60 beers by the end of the weekend.
Damn.
Because whatever I had left over of those 2, that was Sunday football.
No wonder it took you a bonus time to get out of college.
Yeah, I did it right. So, no, thank you.
Yeah. So I do have a trend. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Okay. Here it is. It's a trend that's been going on for a long time. And again, if you're friends with me on Facebook or you see what I post on Facebook, I've been on this real big kick lately that travel ball for children is ridiculous.
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What about the trend of hard coaching 7-year-olds?
Yep. We've talked about that.
Okay. We need to get out of this mindset.
Yeah.
Because, for example, tonight,
Just get out of like, stop destroying the local sports
Yes.
scene.
Yes.
Like, I'm sorry, I should not have to travel. Like, our rule in our house is if we have to travel more than an hour, you're not doing it.
Yeah.
Like, barring until you get to high school when that's actually what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Right.
If you have to travel more than an hour,
Yep.
you don't get to participate.
And the more conversation that this is drummed up, and I've really appreciated that I'm not a unicorn in thinking like this, but travel ball in it inherently isn't bad if the coaches and the parents are all in it together for the right reason.
Right.
And the right reason isn't to win games.
No.
Like that is a goal,
Yeah.
but it's not the goal. A goal that you need to have if you're going to be a parent that has your kid on a travel team, the goal is the travel team is better competition to grow your kid's skills and character on knowing what being a part of a team is about and how to be a leader in that team, whether you're on the bench or whether you're out there on the pitching mound, on left field, right field, shortstop, it doesn't matter.
Well, there's also no fundamentals anymore.
Right.
Like, there's no like learning how to catch and throw a ball because, I mean, and this is an actual trend. Kids don't play outside anymore.
Right.
They don't. Like,
Your children do, but
Yes.
well, right. But I'm saying the average kid doesn't know what it means to go out in the front yard and play catch.
Yeah. Or
Which is
dig in the
why
dirt.
when they get to the, like coach pitch or pitching machine or whatever, they don't know what they're doing because they've never gone outside and played catch with a ball.
Yep. So I do have a challenge for the parents listening on the podcast here. I made it a point this summer. I have the boys home with me all summer. And I mean, until I travel for work, obviously, but we didn't want to pay more for childcare for two boys during the summertime. So we have a list of chores for them to do. They have a little bit of TV time, and then I make them go outside. And if they come in and say, I'm bored, I say, go back outside. And I mean, there's weeds to pull, there's balls to throw, there's mud to get into. Like, my backyard's gonna be trash. I don't care. Like, I can redo that when they get older and have a beautiful lawn. Right now, it is meant to be torn up by kids.
Yeah.
And that's where it's
if
like,
they want to pull weeds, send them to Aunt Hannah's house.
okay, I got you. And so that's the thing. Like, I have a challenge. Like, if you're not sending your kids out, and it's just, I mean, it is easy. Trust me. But with the Switch, when they first got it, they would come down and play for 4 or 5 hours on Saturday. And I finally realized, like, when I took it away from them, they would blow up, and I'd be like, why are you blowing up? And I was like, duh. They've been like just brain on fire for literally 4 hours.
Yeah.
And then they would start watching YouTube about these stupid video games. And then again, I'd tell them to turn off the TV and then throw a fit, like just screaming and kicking. And then I was like, whoa, like, I'm doing this. I'm allowing this. And so Rachel and I have both been super conscious about like a very limited screen time on anything, whether it's TV, whether it's the Switch, whatever the hell it is called. Still another trend I can't get behind, I guess. We really are being more aware of what we're having our kids do, and it shows. Tonight, Trey, one of the track guys, took Elliot home from the school, from the track meeting or track putt, whatever it was, and he texted me. He goes, "Man, does that boy really love sports?" And it's like, holy cow. I'm glad other people have seen it. I see it daily because, like, today, for example, we went to track practice. We went and played golf. There was a baseball clinic this afternoon. And then Ben had T-ball this evening. They're in gymnastics. They just had the recital last weekend. Elliot and Ben both love football. Like, I can't get them to stop throwing the football around the backyard. They play kickball. They kick the soccer ball around. Like, they do all the sports, not just baseball. They're not one sport kids. They don't just focus on football. So allow our kids. I mean, look at Pat Mahomes. He was a 3 or 4 sport athlete in high school.
Track and football, I believe.
Baseball, track.
He did basketball,
football,
too.
basketball.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm telling you, like, if you really are wanting your kid to excel, do not specialize him in one sport or her in one sport when they are 10 years old, even 12,
And if
even
you
14.
do, they'll get burnt out on it. But then on top of that, competition is also exhausting too.
Yes.
Like
mentally.
And I will even, and this is probably like, I'm kind of having a come to Jesus moment. I talk about even like Apex all the time, which I play on Xbox. The skill level of that game has gotten so high that like it's literally like you're playing against professionals every single game, and it just beats down on you because it's like I can't just drop in and like act dumb
or have fun anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to be on all the time.
Yep.
And it's to the point where I don't play that game anymore. I've moved on to another game because that game not only is new, so like I'm challenging myself to like learn it and get better at it and figure out what the best guns are and like
But
all that
there's
sort
not
of stuff.
Preds in it.
But
by
that's
the
the other thing is I'm going into that game and some games get my teeth kicked in.
Yeah.
And then other games I kick the other people's teeth in.
Yep.
And it's not a constant like just hammering down of you got to be the best, you got to be the best, get better, get better, get better. Like it's like, if I want to, I can just run around with a rocket launcher and blow shit up for fun.
Hell yeah.
And I did that one game because it was a challenge. I had to do so much damage with the rocket launcher. But that was one of my favorite games. Was just literally running around, boom, boom, boom. Like can't do that in Apex.
And the guy, everybody in the lobby was like, "This guy sucks.
Who's this loser?
This guy just sucks.
What a noob."
What's another trend?
So this is kind of an all-encompassing trend.
Yep.
And this is actually stolen a little bit from a joke. I believe it's maybe Chris Rock that does it. But it's all the fakeness of people. And I'm not just talking like in today's world, you could even say Instagram, which, oh my God, speaking of even on my Colorado trip, there was a girl, I swear to God, she couldn't have been older than 13 or 14. But like I watched her spend almost an hour. She would like go sit on like a bench and like she'd be holding her phone out in front of her and like fixing her hair just right and then like
Just-
do the little like duck lips or whatever.
Oh, no.
And like do that and then she'd like kind of go and she'd fill with her phone for a little bit. And then she'd go right back. And I was just like, honey, you are in Great Wolf Lodge. There is putt-putt. There's a ropes course. There's a rock climbing wall.
Right.
There's this gigantic water park right next to you. There's an arcade. There's some weird thing where you can walk around with a wand and like shoot it at what Magic Quest or whatever that was. That lame thing was called.
Yep.
There's ice cream.
Yeah.
There's all these things. And I watched you for an hour sit on a bench, stare at your phone, trying to take the perfect picture. So there's that.
With the pool in the background.
Well, no, it wasn't even that. It was the mini golf thing that was in the background.
Even better.
Like, at least go get a ball and some clubs and be like, playing mini golf, click. You know, like at least like make your background make sense. I don't know. But
Idiot.
so there was that. But no, even just like, and this unfortunately also just applies to guys too, is the fakeness of, and the Chris Rock thing is like, cause and of course he's like talking about black women, but he's like, you know, girls got to weave. That ain't your real hair.
Yeah.
Girls got eyeliner and mascara on. Those aren't your real eyes. She's wearing her push-up bra. Those aren't your boobs.
Yep.
You know, like all that's like all that sort of stuff is, but the ones that really drive me crazy, like, of course, like my wife wears eye makeup sometimes because, you know, she had to breastfeed at some point in her life. So in her opinion, her, you know, upper half is a little saggier than she would like it to be. So, you know, maybe a push-up bra here or there, make them look a little perky or whatever. But what I don't like
Men love boobs.
is when people look fake.
Yes.
I'm talking the lip filler.
Oh yeah.
The Botox.
Oh, yeah.
The drawn on eyebrows. Like, oh my God, stop. Please. The spray tans or the like, you know, you go and you the tanning beds. Stop it, please.
Just go outside.
Just be real.
Yeah.
Because you're way prettier as a real person as long as you do very simple things, which is shower, dress appropriately,
And comb your hair.
and don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
That's all you need
Yeah.
to be a wonderful, beautiful human being.
So that is a trend I do understand is there are people in Hollywood now that are essentially not wearing makeup, like being more just natural. They're wearing longer flowy dresses and like they're wearing more just subtle clothing.
Good.
And it's like,
Yeah.
that's a trend I can get behind. I do understand that.
Pamela Anderson is one of them.
I saw that the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, admittedly, didn't recognize her at first,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I mean, she's been doing it for several years now.
Yeah. And it's probably because she looked so fake before.
Yeah.
Like she had a look that she had to put on every day.
Which is funny because we've talked about this before. My favorite go-to, like, just shut my brain off and enjoy television show is that 70s show. And don't get me wrong. If you come up to me and you're wearing a low-cut shirt and push-up bra, like, sure, I'll gander at, what you got going on over there. But one of my favorite jokes in that 70s show is they're talking about, like, hey, remember that time Pam wore a sweater? It's like, yeah. And there's like, remember that time she took up jump rope in a sweater? And like all that. But that's the thing, is she's literally wearing like a turtleneck.
Right.
Like the most modest thing you could do. And so here's the thing, is if I had two women, and let's just say they're both D-cup boobs, right?
Yeah.
One of them is spilling out of their shirt,
Yeah.
and the other one's wearing a turtleneck sweater. Yeah, I might glance at the one over here, but you know who I'm probably going to end up spending my time talking to? And like, if I was like a single guy, like maybe trying to like ask out on a date, it's the one in the sweater
Yeah. Not flaunting it.
because she's not trying hard.
Yep.
And that is
Being
another
real.
trend that I will go ahead and say is I'm all for the casualness. Like if you want to wear like athletic pants or like sweatpants or whatever,
Yes.
that's fine. But there's a difference between casual wear and being dumpy.
Yes.
If you are wearing pajamas outside, stop it.
We've talked
Don't
about
wear
that.
pajamas.
Don't be a McDonald's pajama wearer.
Yes. Yeah, and that was on the show before. But that is a trend because, again, I was on vacation and I saw plenty of people with
man.
their little plaid pajamas just strutting around. And I'm just like, okay, just sweatpants. They're basically the same
Yeah.
thing. But at least sweatpants is like, maybe they're going to the gym later.
Exactly. They're active.
I've never saw someone in pajama pants and thought they're doing something productive later today.
Yep.
Ever.
Yeah, even if it's like a jacked dude, it's like, okay, hold on. You know that your physique matters.
Yeah.
Wearing pajamas out in public, like you're either trying to make a statement or you're going out for a gallon of milk at night because you need it in the morning
Yeah.
for your protein.
Look, if you're going out for milk and cigarettes, okay. Like,
Yeah.
I got it.
Yep. Got
But
it.
beyond that reason,
Well, even the trend, I would go along with this a little bit. The trend of just not dressing for the occasion.
yeah.
Speaking of, like, not wearing a button-up shirt to a funeral
Or a wedding.
or a wedding, right? Like, button-up is just like bare minimum for a dude.
Right.
Like, just, but absolutely, weddings and funerals, that is not a shorts occasion ever,
No.
unless you're on a beach.
And I wouldn't even say no
Unless
holes
you're
in
on a
your
beach.
jeans either. And I don't, jeans are like a soft pass
Yeah,
if they're like dark, nice jeans.
yeah, washed.
And you also have like, dress shoes and a button up and that's right. Then it's kind of like, okay, I get it. You don't like formal wear.
Right.
Like, I went through that phase too. But like,
But, like-
would it kill you to put on a pair of khakis? Would it?
Yeah, and it's almost
Would
like a
it-
respect thing.
Yeah.
And it's like a lack of respect or a lack of pressure from the society to not dress up. And I don't understand it.
This goes back to
Are we getting old? I think we're getting old.
Well, no. I think again, this is a maturity thing, like we talked about with the kids. But this is also like another thing, going back to even the quotes with my mother and how she taught me the value of $1. And yes, I go to weddings and I utilize the open bar.
Yes.
But you know what? I am utilizing that open bar and I am paying respect for you by wearing a very uncomfortable necktie
Yep.
that is still fully up until the dancing begins.
Boom. There it is.
Fully up.
Yep.
Because I'm saying, hey, you know what?
It's time to play.
I understand that you are buying my beers right now, and the least I could do is keep this tie on until like they start playing the YMCA, and then I'm gonna need to be able to breathe.
Yes.
But until then, I will have to sip my beer
Yeah.
and not full chug it because out of respect for you,
Yeah.
I want you to know, no, I came for you,
You
and
have
I
to.
dressed for you.
Yeah, you have to.
Thank you. But yeah, some dude shows up in shorts and like
Flip flops.
yeah, and a t-shirt and starts hammering whiskey sours like there's no tomorrow. Bro, get out. I know why you're here. Get out.
Yep.
It ain't for me. It's for the bar.
The one excuse,
out.
the one excuse I've heard is like, well, I'm just not comfortable in dress clothes. Yeah, nobody really is.
No one is.
Nobody. So it's one of those. Yeah, this is a pet peeve, maybe more so than a trend that I don't understand.
I was
but,
gonna say that's not a trend. That was getting off on old man tangent.
Yeah,
but-
it was. I'm getting old. Gosh, dang it.
Which that's another one that drives me banana sandwich.
What, old man?
No, this is how I tie it into a trend. You ready?
All right.
Reese, when he was the basketball manager,
Oh yeah.
would go full suit and tie. But when it's time for like church or a wedding or a funeral, oh, why can't I just wear jeans and this like polo? And I'm like, bro, you literally wore a suit to a basketball game. You're putting on your suit.
In 8th grade.
Right. No, anytime he tries to combat me, that's my immediate response is, bro, you wore a suit to a basketball game. You're going to wear a fucking suit to this wedding.
Done. End of story. Don't talk anymore.
Yeah. And so help me God if I see white Nike socks under those pants. Like, oh, there's a trend. The tennis shoes under the suit.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Here's the deal.
I also don't like suits with no socks.
Yeah, I don't like that either. I've seen that be more of a trend.
I think you can get away with that based on the shoe.
And
Eh,
based on the color of your skin. White boys
That's
just-
true. Yeah, white boys
just
can't
go
quite do
over
it.
Like,
You're right. If you
That's
got
fair.
pasty white legs,
okay, so
that's
like,
fair.
facts. That do be
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah, that's
Zach
fair.
and Patrick can get away with no socks and
Right.
with their suits on their Sunday.
Patrick's wearing $10,000 shoes. He doesn't have to wear socks. His shoe
with
speaks
that.
for itself.
So-
Yes.
But like, I don't think you guys. Should
No,
be wearing
correct. No, you are correct.
With
Yes,
those.
that is 1,000% accurate.
Yes.
My shoes came from pennies and they were 80% off.
Yeah.
So, no, I have to wear dress socks to make up for the percentage discount. No,
I
what
like
I'm
to wear
saying
fun socks with my suit, so I'm good.
right,
know?
and that's fine.
Yeah.
My thing is and I get it. If you are somebody who like you have to be in suit and tie, and then maybe you're on your feet all day, so you're looking for support. Because let's be honest, dress shoes not comfortable
At all.
Like then I can kind of give you a pass on the whole tennis shoes bit, and even with the whole like with the football analysts, like sometimes like yeah, Randy Moss full blown suit and everything like that, and then they're like, hey Randy, break down this play for us, and he goes and like runs a route.
Right.
Yeah, kind of tough to do in shoes. All right, Randy, you get a pass.
Yep.
Those are still probably $10,000 Nikes you're wearing. You're fine. What drove me crazy is there was when we were in Denver or Oklahoma City on the boys trip.
Yeah.
We went to a really nice bar that people were like dressing up to go to, and it was prom night. And I know it was prom night because there were all these high school kids that were coming in, and the amount of people that I saw in basically an evening gown
Yep.
and then like white Nikes,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what are you doing, ladies?
Yep.
Tell me you're dumb and immature without telling me you're dumb and immature.
Those are
No
just the party
self-respecting
shoes.
woman. Like, if you don't want to wear heels, I get it. Heels, not the most comfortable thing unless you're asking my wife. My wife loves her heels.
Yeah.
Wear flats. Just wear flats. Don't wear your tennis shoes. You have a sparkly evening gown that I'm sure cost your daddy $500, if not more.
More. Yeah.
Don't wear
15.
your Jordans
Yeah.
to the dance.
But they're $300 Jordans though.
I don't care.
pattern.
No.
At that point, I
Just
would
now.
not wear shoes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just go barefoot. That
Barefoot,
looks
ladies.
better. It looks better. I mean,
Yeah. All my, like, my head was in my hands so many times.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what has this society come to?
I'm trying to think of another trend that's out there that I just don't like, and I can't come up with one right now. I know there's plenty.
I will say there's a trend coming back that I don't like.
Uh-oh.
It's the super baggy clothes.
Yeah, the
Like, I'm all for baggy.
Mid-90s.
I'm all for bootcut jeans.
yeah.
But the second you say the word Jinko, I'm going to be like, guys, we got to stop.
Yeah.
We've gone too far.
I'm not buying Jinkos.
First of all,
Please don't. I
just
want
baggy
to.
jeans.
I can't.
I've said this on the podcast before. Just baggy jeans, my legs look like flagpoles when the wind's blowing.
Yep.
You put me in a pair of Jinkos, I might as well fly away. Mm-hmm. I'm literally a flying squirrel at that point.
Plus, skinny dudes, you can't wear baggy stuff. I've learned that
Nope.
over the years. My wife has taught me a lot of good stuff, and that's one of them.
I do also think there's the opposite effect, which is you can also be too skinny.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And that goes for skinny guys and large guys.
Yes.
Because if I wear too skinny of jeans, they're like, "Where's the rest of you?"
yeah. Like, hold on, I can see most of all of you.
Yeah. I'm a very skinny person, particularly in the leg area.
Yep.
I'm not leaving much to the imagination. It's like, do you even have skin or are you just bone?
Yep.
And then big guys wearing skinny jeans. It's like, buddy, I think you need to go up a size or two. Please.
I can see your
Do us
ass
all a
crack.
favor. Please stop. I can see your rolls through your jeans. Stop it. Just
That takes some effort. All right. As far as trends, do we have any more trends that we don't understand?
top of the brain. I'm gonna say no. Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'll
think
say
I'm.
no.
I'm sure if we thought more about it, we would.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have plenty of things I could like gripe about.
Yeah.
But nothing that I would say is an immediate trend.
Yeah. Like I Googled some and I was like, is that really a trend? No. Is it really just something I want to bitch about? Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
So
you want to know what trend does keep coming around every so often that I'm always behind? It's the mustache trend.
Yes. I am too, man.
Every like 7 years,
Yeah, it just comes
it's just back. Like
Yeah.
right now, we're not in a mustache era.
In high school, there are. The boys are doing
Oh,
mustaches
are they?
again. Yeah.
So it's coming back.
Yeah.
Coming back around. Okay.
Yeah. But it's mostly because they can't grow a beard, though, I think.
That's also
Yeah.
probably accurate.
see,
But-
I'm all about the facial hair. I don't like the porn stash. Because a lot of times that's what it ends up looking like.
Yeah, you're right.
So like
Mine does, admittedly. Chris has a glorious mustache. I have a porn stash. Full admittance. However,
Yeah.
nothing thrills me more than when like whether it's my Snapchat or I'm standing in line at the grocery store and it's like People Magazine. It's like Clooney, Brad Pitt, Chris Pratt, like, and they're all just mustache,
stash.
caterpillar
Yes.
across the lip. I'm just
Yeah.
like, yes, let's go. It's back. Boys, we have 6 months. We have 6 months to live this life. Let's do this.
Everybody grow it out real quick.
It's going to be 7 years before it's back. Hurry.
I like to do it just for occasions. Like the 5K. I felt like that was a good time to
Yeah.
bring back his stash for a little bit.
Cyberpalooza.
Yeah.
Great time to have a
Yeah.
stash.
see, I like the look that both of you have right now. Like yours is just, you just got off vacation. You probably didn't shave while you were
Nope. Shaved right before I went on vacation,
Yeah.
and this is me a few days later.
Yep.
Yeah, like for me that I like that
Like
look.
the
And
more
I like,
rough.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
what you've got going on right now, but
Not long, not super dark.
no,
Just a little
not
rough.
like full man,
Full Manchu. No, wait a
Nothing
minute.
like that.
Yeah.
My favorite style to this day, and then you can close out,
Okay.
is I call it the Henry Cavill. Because
Yes.
we all know Henry Cavill, which is super thick, glorious mustache,
Yep.
but then this.
But still have some
Because like
scruff.
it's the best of both worlds. The ladies love the scruff, the gents love the stash.
Yep.
And you're rocking both.
But you still got to trim it up. You still got to line up the neck and.
Well,
trim
right,
up
yeah.
the-
No, you can't look like homeless.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is it's like 1 month of growth here and like a week of growth here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's my favorite look.
1,000.
Yeah, the Henry Cavill
It's my favorite look.
peak.
I love it.
He could pretty much do anything.
I mean, that's also why it's called the Henry Cavill, because he could do a polka dot beard, and we'd be like, "Oh, I want to do that."
Okay. It's going to take some time, but I'm going to do it.
Thank God my beard's already patchy as hell.
All right. Well, if we don't have anything else, thank you guys for listening to season 8, episode 13 of In the Middle podcast. Be sure to subscribe over on Twitch, support us on Patreon, and join the Discord community. You can check out all of our other links and socials by using the ITM Kansas handle. Don't forget to swing over by the merch store for shirts, hats, mugs, and more. We got a mug right here.
That's right.
Miss Hannah Haggard has a beautiful first that we've seen In the Middle podcast mug.
Which flip that around because it has both logos
Yes.
too, which I did not actually realize until you pulled it out of the
yeah.
out of the box that we have both ITM logos on it.
Yeah. 2 of or 3.
That's right. Yeah.
So where am I at? Here we go. Yeah, by using the link in the description, that's where you can find that store. Mark,
So
anything else?
we do actually tune in to twitch.tv/ITM Kansas next week, Wednesday, because
Yes.
it is the season 8 finale, and it will basically be a B show of episode 100.
Yes.
So anyone who wasn't on episode 100, we're bringing them on, and they'll get like 15 to 20 minutes as opposed to the 10 minutes that everyone on episode 100 got. But because it's the B show, maybe they're not as impressive. Caleb.
Oh,
Had to get my dig in while I could.
burn. Maybe you can figure out a
burn.
telephone this time.
Yeah. Jeez. There's a trend I don't like. Old people who don't know how to use technology.
I'm about to get there, dude.
I know. I had to say it before it became me.
Hannah, do you have anything else?
No.
All right, we'll get out of here.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. You know what trend I could get behind? Saying flip.
Oh, God.
What the flip?
Mary Kate asked me that the other day, like, Dad, is flip or like frickin' or like that sort of stuff like bad words? I'm just like, I mean, no, but
But they're not nice.
if you're saying it,
In place of.
yeah,
I always-
this way, then yes.
Like,
I always
couldn't
just say-
freaking.
Let me
or
see that real
flippin'
fast.
Or anything like that. Like, mom and dad were always like, no, because we know what you're trying to say.
Right.
And no.
I always tell the kids that it's not a bad word. It's just not a good word or sometimes a nice word.
Yes, correct.
And they're like, oh, okay. That makes sense. It's like, I'm not going to get you in trouble for it, but yeah, it's the way that
My kids point at
they
me
say
and
it.
go, every time I say crap. It's like, look, at least I'm not saying shit, you fuckers.
That is good. That is good.
We're in the after dark.
Yeah.
So that's why I could say that.
I have just to make a point because both Ben and Elliot know like what cuss words are now. Elliot's known for a while, but just to make a point across, like I don't do it like all the time, but when I'm really mad at them, I'll say shit. Like I don't give a shit what you think, and they're like,
no, then they know. Then they know. Yeah.
like, oh, we're in trouble.
It's a psychological thing
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Like, and yeah,
That's like when I dropped the F-bomb on Reese the first time.
yeah,
I told that story on the podcast. I'm like,
so good.
I don't ever want to hear you fucking say that to your mom again. oh shit.
Hey, I still remember.
We have entered a realm.
See, and the first time I ever heard my mom say "fuck," it was not in that like trying to get your message across point. Mom's message was very different, and she pretty much told me not to fuck it up with Rachel, and that was
Right,
the
yeah.
very first time I've ever heard her say "fuck," and I was 18 or 17 years old.
Yep.
After I graduated high school.
Don't fuck this up, Chris.
Don't fuck this up, and I was like,
Oh, damn. She said, fuck, this serious.
This is real serious.
Did I already start? What?
Yeah. Wait a minute. Did I?
What did I do?
Yeah. And mom still swears that she didn't say that. And
You've been
know-
telling that story way too long for that not to be true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know exactly, like my mind can go back to exactly the scenario. I was sitting on the couch. She was sitting in the chair in the living room, the old house on Lincoln Street there in Clyde, Kansas. 717 Lincoln.
I will say this. Your mom, like, nothing's worse. So part of what I love about this podcast is we are recording it and we are able to go back and listen to it
Yeah.
because I don't like, I remember the topics and I'll remember certain moments.
Yeah.
But I don't remember like the full blown conversations. Literally the moment we leave out this door, it's almost like truthfully, like I black out, go into performer mode. We have our bit and then we, go have our cigarette and leave, whatever. And your mom, when we were at the gymnastics thing, she was like, by the way, Mark, thank you for your kind words about me on the podcast. And I was just like, what did I say? Like,
Yeah.
you're welcome, Jody. So I did. I had to like go back and listen because I was just like, what did I say about Jody? But then even because I knew I had mentioned things about Katie and Melissa, but I was just like, crap, I hope I didn't like put my foot in my mouth at any point. And so like I had to go back and listen, and I was just like, oh, we're clear. Like I seemed like the best like son to all the moms on that podcast of like, even when it sounds like I'm starting to say something that's not good, the reason it's good is because of this.
Yep.
And that's a life lesson courtesy of 90s sitcoms. Like,
I love that.
but
Yeah, because you're
DJ, that's why you don't drink and smoke and then drive. Like, because bad things happen, like your friend dying. I'll never do it again, Dad.
Yeah, I remember you were comparing my mom and your mom and how they were alike.
Yeah.
And yeah. But no, that was my
That was with the
mother's.
mom face.
That was my
And I was like, Jody's mom face.
yeah,
means
yeah,
she's-
yeah.
Oh, I have definitely mom
She's
face
ready.
you
She's
before.
ready. No, I gave that as a present to my mom. Was like, hey, go back and listen to this
Yeah.
episode, or just this like time-stamped portion of it.
Uh-huh.
Dad tells me last weekend she listened to all of it nonstop, and I was like,
Oh,
I hope she's good with all of it. Like,
yeah.
it's not intended for you, Mom. Okay. it's just
I could see
conversation.
your mom becoming a fan of the show.
Oh yeah, I think
I
so.
do. Actually, that's something that I kind of remember Dane Cook talking about is like whenever he's like, because someone was asking him like, hey, like, do like your parents like listen to your stand up? And he's like, oh yeah, my mom has been my biggest supporter like all these years. And it's like, does it ever like weird you out like knowing that like you're talking about like girls that you've had sex with or like all these like other like crazy shenanigans that like you do? And he's just like, you know, like it used to bother me of like, oh mom, don't listen to this part, like it's not really for you. And he's like, but those are actually the jokes that my mom would like champion me the most of.
Really?
Like, and it was mainly because it's like she understood that one, like obviously yes, for comedic purposes he's either stretching the truth or
Yes,
like whatever, like certain things about that. But then on top of that, it's like, son, you're doing what you love.
Yeah.
And if talking about your personal life makes you a better comedian,
Yeah.
then by all means, go for it. Nothing is off limits about me, your dad, your sibling. Like, go.
Yeah.
Because mom wanted to support her son. And I just remember like hearing that and being like, oh my God. Like, yeah. Not that I think everyone would be thrilled with everything we ever say on here,
Right.
you know, but it's one of those things where it's like, you know, they wouldn't have said it if it didn't have purpose or meaning. And so I'll let it slide.
Well, I tell you what, we're on the fucking front porch, guys.
That's
Like,
right.
This is what happens on the front porch.
That is what happens.
When you get around people that you like and you want to talk to and you love, and stuff comes out. And every now and then a cuss word's going to come out.
My mother would just remind us to watch our mouths and
Yeah.
go on.
Yeah. And that's one of the things, though, too.
See, and I think Paula would have loved that episode of us all just like, Paula, writing letters for, well done, Paula.
Right,
And she would have been
right.
like, thank you.
And
I know.
I
Your letter's in the mail.
If you do get a letter, let me know.
Got it.
BTW, stop cussing so much. PSS.
Watch
Heard the
your mouth.
episode, watch the GDs and the Effins, but otherwise, great show.
I do every time somebody's like, do you have a podcast? I'm like, yeah. And like, oh, good. We listen to podcasts all the time. I always am like, it's not meant for children. Every now and then there's a couple cuss words and they're like, oh, good to know. And I'm like, because some of the people I've talked to about the show, they're like, yeah, we listen to podcasts in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, are you kids in the car?
Please don't.
Yeah.
I have colleagues who like to listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
They're like, do you have any you recommend? I'm like, well, are you opposed to, the occasional cuss word
Yeah.
or random conversation that has nothing to do with anything?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Claire's like, I don't care. The only problem is when my daughter's in the car.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
And that's why I like when I listen to podcasts, because I listen to some just god awful podcasts as far as language goes, and gory scenes and
Right.
yeah, nasty murder stuff. I I always listen to those in my headphones anyway. And so, like, especially if we're driving in the car, I'll have one in one ear. And unless Rachel actually wants to talk to me, which that's pretty cool sometimes. And then, so I don't have any problem with it. But I'm also somewhat unique in the sense that I will listen to a podcast driving with one ear instead of like the whole car. Because again, with today's world, everybody has a device with headphones on in the back seat. So kids will just be completely away from the car anyway, driving. But it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, there's podcasts that people, like families, listen to podcasts when they're driving somewhere, almost like the radio.
Yeah.
By the way, stuff you should know if you do need a podcast that's kid friendly and is super entertaining and like you will
Katie
learn
would
something.
kill me.
Really?
She hates talk radio. Hates it.
Oh, I guess it is talk radio.
If we're doing anything, it's music or best.
Yeah. I need to get Elliot started on stuff you should know because the two hosts are really funny and well, I think they're funny, but they teach you stuff the whole episode.
The other one that I'll give you is literally, I haven't listened to it in a long time, but the best part about it is intended to be a family friendly show. It's called The Spitballers. Is Spitballers. So it's my fantasy football podcast I listen to.
Oh, yeah.
It's their spin-off show, which is where like they do like drafts at the end of every episode and stuff. But like literally, I would say 60% of it is literally like poop jokes. Oh. And it's all stuff your boys would think is so funny. But then there's enough of like, kind of like when you watch a cartoon or like a Disney movie and there's like an adult joke that you know is going over the kids' heads. Like there's enough of that going on that like, yeah, your kids won't pick up on it, but you will. And it's hilarious.
Right.
But then they also will have various like, yeah, either pieces of life advice or like whatever in there. Like it's just a good, clean, funny show. They're an hour long, so especially if it's a case where, yeah, you're in the car, listen to one episode. And part of it, too, is like they have different segments. Like one of their segments is like, would you rather? And then the idea of the show is like you're really honestly supposed to kind of play along.
Right.
And then even when they do drafts, like they'll do, and it could be as complex as a battle royale in a hardware store. What are the 4 weapons you're grabbing to kill each other?
We need to do some of these.
So, well, but that's what I mean. It's like, so there's things like that, or there's things as simple as the 4 best things you can think of that are the color blue, and you draft it. And so like your boys, they might not like necessarily like know all the tools to like participate in the hardware store draft, but it's like best things are colored blue, and they could be like the sky is blue, and then when one of them picks the sky, then they're like, yeah, I knew it, yeah, the sky is blue. Like they get really excited. Like there's just things cool. Like so the Spitballers podcast, definitely check that out with the boys.
We 100% need to do some of those.
Yeah. That would be entertaining as hell.
Yeah, there's fun. Like I said, I try not to rip off other shows, whether it's You Betcha, Spitballers, but yeah.
By the way, I went on a date last night with my wife.
I heard about that.
You heard about it? Mm-hmm. Did she tell you about it?
Mm-hmm.
Girls tell her everything.
She didn't tell me anything about it. She just said that you went on a date.
Yes. That's all that matters, really. So I planned this date all by myself.
If we're going to keep talking, I'm going to get another beer.
Okay. Yeah, just for a little bit.
I was going to raid Panda, but it seems like you're ready to go still.
What, 15 minutes? Is that all right? Yeah. Okay. All right.
I'm just impressed that you went on a date on a Tuesday.
I know. Well, it was the only day that would work.
Yeah. I
know. On a Tuesday. Yeah. No, tonight wouldn't work. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be at a track meet all day. Friday night, we're going to Clyde. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I think we're coming home from Clyde. Rachel's going to be coming home, I think, Saturday night. Maybe going back to Clyde Sunday afternoon. I don't know. But anyway, after the last, really 4 or 5 months, but last week in particular, we just didn't spend hardly any time together. And she was like, last week, she was like, you owe me a date. And I was like, done. I'll do it. I'll get the babysitter, plan it. Don't worry about it. And then Monday, I had the thought, like, we're going through our week, and I was like, oh, shit. Like, we have to go on a date this week. And so very last minute, I texted Nora, and I was like, hey, what are you doing Tuesday night? And she was like, nothing. And I was like, perfect. You want to babysit? She was like, absolutely. Freaking score. Done. Lock that in. And then yesterday, don't judge me, okay? I used Chat GPT to help me, that's it, to help me with date ideas because I said, we have 4 kids. We've been married almost 10 years. We need a date night. She's been like essentially carrying the household. I need something special. I need something this. And I said, and we only have like 4 hours. And ChatGPT was like, oh, you could go to, I'm not shitting you. This was the very first thing that it said. Gella's over in Hayes. And then to Paisley Pear for a charcuterie board / dessert or a nightcap with wine. And I was like, that's literally our fucking date night every night or every time we go to Hayes.
Yeah.
Is those 2 places. So I was like, nope, can't do that one. But then the other one was something about going out to Wilson Lake and watching a sunset. And I was like, shit, we haven't watched a sunset in like years.
Yeah, you used to that at Pat's Farm all the time.
Yeah, all the time. And so I was like, you know what? We're going to do that. And I was like, oh, I wonder if the Midland's open. So I called the Midland. They were open downstairs. And so we went to the Midland, because you can't go to Midland without a $100 meal.
Yeah.
Had a $100 meal. Have you been to the Midland before?
It's been a while, but yeah.
Their cocktail menu is off the charts. Like, and it's all seasonal. So like right now it's mints and strawberries and grapefruit juice and like, I mean, all the springy type stuff. And so Rachel had a couple of cocktails. I had a bourbon and something else, and then went out to the lake. I had the boys, and this was really cool. That afternoon, yesterday afternoon, I was busy as shit, but we found literally 30 minutes to clean the back of my truck out, blow up an air mattress, fill all the pillows and shit from the trampoline
Nice.
into the back of the truck. I threw the tonneau cover on, pushed everything in, had a couple other drinks, and I even had tiki torches, which we couldn't light out there because it said no fire. I was like, damn. But all we did was literally we went to a place that I've never been before. Have you ever been across the dam and then up the like north side of the lake at all? Like there's some camping areas and stuff there on the north side.
I mean, I've probably driven by it, but
Yeah, so I've never been through there at all. And if you know where Rocktown's at, we're not quite to Rocktown on the lake, but like that one whatever over. There's a camping spot there, or not camping, a swimming spot right there with a big parking lot. I've never seen this cove, and so we sat there on that cove, watched the sun go down, and the fish were jumping like crazy. Pheasants were crowing, and we heard 3 coyotes. I'm pretty sure it was 3 killing a rabbit, which was pretty cool.
usually, yeah.
And then we drove
Makes
home,
me
and
think of camp.
and that was it. I mean, like, such just a nothing going on type of night. We took our time. We drove. We talked. And we listened to an old Pandora radio station that I haven't listened to in forever. And I think I want to introduce Ben to Michael Bublé's.
I love
tracks.
Michael Bublé.
The Feeling Good song.
Oh yeah.
I think
Mary
Ben,
Kate's favorite was Sway when she was a baby.
Yep. I think Ben will absolutely love Michael Bublé because like he's
Are you laughing at me because I'm singing in my head?
No, I'm laughing at the idea of Ben like loving like the smooth jazzy.
you
like,
haven't seen that side of Ben yet, have you?
Oh no.
Dude, he sings.
I've seen destructive Ben.
He sings all the time.
That's funny.
And he's actually like, I mean, to my deaf ears, it sounds
has his mom's voice.
really good. Yeah. Like he might be the entertainer.
There you go.
So pretty pumped about that.
So, as the resident girl on this podcast,
Yeah.
very proud of you.
Thank you.
Very good. Because that's actually my idea of a perfect date. So,
Really?
you go.
Dinner and sunset. That's
Yeah.
it.
stars. I mean,
I wanted to stay a little bit later, but it was close to
Pick up bed
10
as well.
o'clock.
yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Whiskey, pickup, stars.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cheat code. Need to borrow my truck?
I mean, I have Reese's now.
was just
I
like,
know,
he
but it
does
doesn't
have
have
a truck.
It doesn't have a tonneau cover though.
No,
Doesn't.
it doesn't.
I was able to make it all, like blanket, pillows, everything, and put it down to where all you had to do is open the tailgate and fold it all up. It was awesome. Which reminds me, I want to go camping soon. Like, that was so awesome. Just being out there.
I'll go out for a little while, but I'm not camping.
No.
Nope.
Hey, eventually, if we can schedule it right, we might be able to use Pat's farm because he has the farmhouse now. It's really close. By the end of the year, it's going to be done to where you can stay the night in it, and so we could all camp, and then you could have a bed to actually sleep in.
I would do that.
Okay.
Yeah, Todd got it in his head one time that we should go camping. I'm like, you're an idiot, and this is never happening again.
Do you have any good camping stories, Mark?
Camping?
Camping.
Like actual
Yeah.
camping?
We have the one that we shared.
Well, so
Slap whiskey night.
Sean and I used to go. We would do a Wilson Lake weekend, like kind of to wrap up our summer.
Oh,
And so we would always.
that's a good idea.
So what we would do is we would go down on like Friday night, essentially, because we would both like have work or whatever. But then we would pitch a tent. We'd basically dig out like a place where we could have like a fire pit. Like we always dug it like into the ground. That way,
Yeah.
like if for some reason it started to get out of control, you just shove all the dirt on top of it.
Which what we did on Slap
Correct.
Whiskey
That's
night.
yeah, exactly. And so yeah, we would pitch a tent, and then it never failed. It was always windy whenever we went. So like we would use like because we always went to the same spot, and to this day, to my knowledge, the duct tape that we used is still on the tree. Because like yeah, we like so the tree kind of served as it, and then we
Thrown
would use
around
our
the duct tape
and then we
now.
would use our cars as a wind block on like the opposite side.
Yeah.
So we kind of had like a little triangle going for the tent. But then yeah, literally all we would do is we would like we would wake up whenever the sun woke us up, and then we would go cast lines,
Yep.
and then we would just sit on the beach, drink beer, and wait for a bite. And there were some
That sounds awesome.
weekends where we would catch 20, 30 fish, and then there were some weekends where we caught like 2.
Yes.
But we just sat on the beach and drank beer with our lines in the water and just talked and drank. And when we got hungry, we would roast hot dogs on our fire, which never technically went out.
Hell yeah.
Usually because we had a fire, like it just naturally attracts people. So anybody who was like at the campsite, like they would just come down, and we'd be like, yep, bring your beer down, like join us on the lawn chairs. And if we got too hot, we'd jump in the lake and cool off, and then go sit right back in our chairs.
We should try to do that this summer, like July, where things stop being so chaotic. June is freaking ridiculous. Maybe not so much for you. You don't have any baseballers.
Well,
playing?
Mary Kate.
Oh, Mary Kate is playing softball this year. Cool.
Yep.
Is Reese playing at all?
Nope.
No baseball.
He's doing football camps.
Yeah.
He's going to Colorado, somewhere in Colorado Springs.
Yep. Well, yeah, Colorado Springs, I think is where he said.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's not
That's the
not
Father's Day weekend one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And then he said he had another one or two.
He has K-State, he has Fort Hays, Colorado Springs.
And we gotta
He
squeeze.
might have one more.
We gotta squeeze a pole vault camp in there this summer.
Yeah.
At some point.
He would do it.
Oh, I know. And I've told him like, you really need to. Like, it's good to get coached from me, but you need to get coached by somebody else. And plus, it'd be good for me to get also coached by another coach. Type of thing. So,
He'll do it. You just tell him when and where.
I'm thinking late July is pretty open for us right now.
We in mid-July are going to Boston, so everything's out for mid-July.
Hell yeah.
But
Is that Danny's triathlon?
Correct.
Again? One of these years. He essentially challenged me to do a triathlon with him.
well, we're going because Katie's pretty positive within the next 5 years they'll be in Kansas City.
No way.
Yes.
Okay. Shit, I have 5 years to do a triathlon. My biggest thing is like I'm gonna have to rent a bike when I get there. Like I mean, like, but those aren't. You can't just rent like any other bike. It has to be like a bike.
Or you could just do what the Netherlands guy did and
I don't have money to buy a bike like that. I don't want to buy
fly
a bike
on a
like
plane.
that. Yeah. I don't want to get in triathlons because you already seen what I did when I got into running.
Mhm.
Like I'm going to do a marathon next year in OKC.
You would spend a lot of time at the Fossil Hotel
Yes.
practicing your swimming.
And so repetitive.
Yeah. You would get
It's a
bored
tiny
very
pool.
quickly.
Yeah. I would have to go to Hayes, I think.
Mhm.
Are you doing the OKC Memorial?
Yeah. This one that I'm planning on that being my first marathon.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. And like
That's one Joey does.
yeah, and that's why I'm wanting to go down. Katie kind of almost pushed me off of it for a second because she was like,
Off?
yeah,
Oh, I would think she would push you onto it because she's
No.
like, well, if Joey's doing it and you're doing it, then we're going down there. Like,
no, like off as far as the track itself. Because she's like, the half marathon is really cool because like you're running essentially with a crowd the whole entire time you're running.
Oh, that's what Joey said. Yes.
Yeah.
Joey said like
You split.
let's just say it's a rectangle, but like the half is like the square, for visual sake.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, like when you run the full, the other half of the rectangle, there's nobody.
Right.
And he's like, that's hard because definitely what keeps you going are the crowd.
People, yeah.
And so he's like, that stretch is definitely the hardest. And then once you get back to the crowd, then you almost get like another boost of energy.
Right.
And you like the end of the race is easy as hell. But he's like, that portion of the race is easily awful.
Yeah, which I mean, like any race, like the middle half always sucks the most, but then to have nobody cheering you on,
Correct.
would be even more brutal.
Yeah.
So,
Which we would at least, especially if you and Joey are running together and like helping each other keep pace, we would cheer you guys on. It just wouldn't be a consistent cheering on
Right.
that you get from the crowd. It would be like every 2 or 3 miles you
Yeah.
would see us.
See, and that's the thing though. Like, I don't know if I can keep up with Joey, dude. Him and AJ ran like a 340 something on their first one. That's fast. I don't think I'm willing to go that fast. Could I? Maybe, but I don't think I'm willing to. It's a lot of freaking training. Freaking young kids
Stupid running.
and stupid ass people running.
If I run, you also should run.
Again,
There's a bear.
Hannah and I will happily get shit-faced and point and laugh at you
Yes.
for running.
1,000%.
Yes.
Don't you wish you could do this?
And I'm going to right after the race. By the way, mark your calendars. November, I think 8th, Salina half. Well, Salina marathon, but Crossroads.
That's right before NCYC, but yeah, I should be able to make it work.
Okay. Me, Caleb, and Dave are right now signed up.
There you go.
And that one is a pretty cool one. The only thing I'm not looking forward to is you run a half, and that's the only loop is just a half. So you run another half after that. Like,
It's the day before Bill's birthday.
is it a Saturday, the 8th?
Yeah.
Okay, I was remembering right.
Actually, I'm almost positive that's right before NCYC because I feel like we leave on November 12th. Pretty sure.
Hell yeah. I need to find another race. I need to
Think
start
if I
doing
just
something.
put Salina Marathon in here, I'll remember that that's for you.
Perfect. Yeah. Who do I know? Oh yeah, that idiot.
What a moron.
What an idiot.
I'll call Mark. We'll ride together and make fun of him.
Yeah. If
Actually,
you are
I guess
staying, I would recommend right now getting your hotel because
no, it's Salina. We'll drive back home. Plus, the marathon's in the morning. We'll sober up.
it is. It is
Yeah.
in the morning.
Some of us will have to work on Sunday, so we'll
Yeah,
have to
true.
sober up before we go.
True.
Going all the way back, like, and this drives Katie when I do this, when I circle back to something we moved off of.
Yeah.
But since we were just talking about like being in the car or whatever, I do love that to this day, my favorite comment about our podcast came from Alex, which is like, I turn you on, I feel like I'm in the room with you.
That's awesome.
And so, like, when I was visiting with Jake this weekend, because again, he was just like, "Wait, you like actually make money from your podcast?" I'm like, "Yeah, like, I mean, it's not like
We're not getting rich.
yeah, we're not doing anything with it. Like, we use it to buy equipment here and there, or
Yeah.
like, you know, pay for merch or beer, like whatever. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, whatever." But I did ask him. I was just like, you know, like, at one point in time, you were in sports broadcasting. You know, you were Jake from Cake and all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. Do you ever like miss that, or do you ever feel bad that you didn't achieve like your career goal that you set out to like be the anchor of Sports Center and that sort of stuff? He's like, you know, I have thought about that, and what I realized is I don't think I had the passion for sports that I thought I had.
Oh.
He's like, I think I did enjoy the camera time. Like,
Yeah.
I enjoyed seeing me, like, well, not seeing me, but like the fact that people across the state were watching me
Jake
Yep.
from Cape.
on nightly news,
Yeah.
right? Doing their sports coverage and stuff like that. And he's like, and of course, I enjoyed covering certain things, whether it was like, you know, I got to go to K-State bowl games, I got to go to Chiefs games, like I
Yep.
got to like do these things. But then there were other things that, you know, I had to cover that weren't so glamorous and weren't so fun, and, you know, other aspects of the job. And he's like, but because I made the comments that essentially someone told me like, oh man, Mark, you'd be super good at like being a sports broadcaster, like whatever. And he's like, I do. He's like, I firmly believe you would be good at it from the standpoint of, number one, I think you are more passionate about at least certain sports than I ever was. He's like, generally, I like all sports, but he's like, I'll start talking to you about football and you'll just go into the weeds on shit I have no clue about. You know, and he's like, and I can tell that you like at least know enough about golf that like you can kind of feel your way around the room.
Yep.
As you know, do you know everything about everyone like you do football? No, but it's like you know enough about the big names of like, oh yeah, this guy's won like 6 majors, this guy's won this,
Yep.
blah, 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 blah,
Yep.
like do it. And he's like, so I think you, if you would have done sports broadcasting, yeah, would you necessarily be doing Sports Center where you're covering everything? Not necessarily, but you also have like the performance entertaining side of things that you would absolutely have had a shot to do it. But that's also why I loved, and this is the point I made to him, is I said, the reason why I love this particular thing that we do is not only do I get to talk about what I want to talk about whenever I want to talk about it, and no one can stop me because we don't have like crazy sponsors or contracts or like whatever saying
We have
you
one
can't do
that's
this,
a part
you
of
can't
the
do
show.
this. Well, right. But the point is it's like, even audience wise, it's like, yeah, we're not being pulled in a certain direction because people are demanding we do certain, which I see with streaming all the time is
Oh, yeah.
you'll see these video game creators, they get really big on like a particular game,
Yep.
but then when they move off that game, they like lose all their audience because they
Right.
don't have the entertainment factor.
Yep.
They were either just really good at this game, and even if they're good at another game, it's like, well, we liked it when you played this game.
Yeah.
And now that either that game's no longer an option or you're no longer playing that game, oh, we don't really care about you, and we move on and we find someone else. Whereas with this show, like truthfully, anyone who listens to it, watches it, they know that what they're getting is us
Yeah.
and us with our passions. Not to say everything we say is obviously right or correct like, or anything like that.
What are you talking about?
But, you know, when I get on here and I rant about how the Chiefs are going to go 20-0, I fucking mean it. Like,
Yep.
You believe
like
it will happen.
this isn't me clickbaiting like I'm Stephen A. Smith or Skip.
Right.
Like, no, it's like, guys, I have looked at the schedule. Here's how this happens. Not because I'm a biased Chiefs fan and this is in my brain. I'm saying this is how it will happen. And by God, it almost fucking happened.
Yep.
We lost 2 games.
2.
One to the Bills and one that doesn't count because our starters didn't play.
Yep.
And then the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, how much closer could I have been to predicting that shit? And it's because I knew enough about it and I used slight bias, but also like
Rationale.
rationale to like do that. And it's the same thing when we talk about trends or our moms or whatever. And it's like, look, I'm not coming on here and just spitting shit to
get clicks.
get clicks or whatever. It's like, no, this is what I believe. And if you want to fight me, let's fight. Like, let's go. Like,
Get in the chat.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's why I will forever appreciate that comment of Alex of like, no, like, I feel like I'm in the room with you. And if all of a sudden I was just like, Chiefs aren't going undefeated, I'd be like, listen, motherfucker,
Here we are.
you're at my bar, okay? I invited you on this show, and you're going to listen to what I say.
Now, hold on just 1 second. My dad and I built this bar.
Metaphorically.
Oh, okay. There you go.
It's my beer in the fridge, except for today because it is Cypress.
Well, that's like this morning.
Well, correction. This was my beer that I bought. This is Cypress.
There it is.
You were talking about the things that we know about, and Jake said that you know a lot about a lot of different things, and that's why I always give you the sneaky hembo question of the day.
By the way,
Did you know it today?
no, I didn't see today, but last week they were asking what the number one rivalry on primetime was. And my immediate brain, I said, I know it's the Cowboys. It's just a matter of, is it the Giants or the Eagles? And that was 1 and 2. I guessed Eagles because
of
the Eagles, especially like even with Andy Reid, was more prominent.
Right.
But then they had like Chip Kelly with Michael Vick and stuff like that. Then they kind of had those years where like they weren't super great, like right after Andy Reid left. But then they did have Carson Wentz, who was an MVP candidate, like second overall draft pick. And so that's why I said Cowboys Eagles was my answer. But the actual answer was Cowboys Giants.
Wow.
And then Cowboys Eagles was number 2. But like I had them, I just flip-flopped them. And I almost called you like, guess who watched Hembo today? And literally like just accidentally flip-flopped the answer.
Well, he asked the question this morning.
Oh yeah, give it to me. Let's see.
Which of the Dallas Cowboys first-year head coaches had the best record? So in all of the coaches in their first year, who had the best record?
First year ever?
In their first year as a Dallas Cowboys coach.
Okay, that would either be
I'm thinking Jason Garrett, but
no, it wouldn't have been Garrett. It's either this is gonna be to be fair, I don't know coaches as well. If I remember correctly, Barry Switzer took over for Jerry Johnson, right? My guess is either Mike McCarthy or Barry Switzer, because Barry Switzer took over a Super Bowl winning team, and then Mike McCarthy took over Jason Garrett, who had a stacked team, and Mike McCarthy has like always won like 10 or 11 games up until recent. So it's one of those two is my guess.
Okay, the actual answer is Wade Phillips.
what?
Okay.
Like his first year
Really?
With Tony Romo
was better
and
than
Des
everybody
Bryant.
else. Yeah.
What was their record that year?
I didn't actually get.
Oh,
the
okay.
record.
They probably won like 11 games and
Yeah,
then lost
9 or
in the playoffs.
I mean, yeah, Tony Romo came out and was that the year they were undefeated when they faced the Packers on like Monday Night Football or whatever that was? Was that Tony Romo's first year?
No, Wade Phillips' first year. Yeah.
Oh, I thought they went hand in hand, Phillips and Romo.
No.
Okay.
No,
but-
Romo was established, and then Wade came in because he was a defensive coordinator,
Right.
and then got the head coaching job.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
but Shefty, he thought first it was Barry Switzer, so like that was his first
Yeah.
guess as well. So,
Yeah.
and it was actually Wade Phillips, but
Interesting.
Wade Phillips, what a sneaky head coach! First of all,
right?
I loved Wade Phillips.
he was not a good head coach,
No,
though.
he was not.
No, better defensive coordinator.
Yes, and I remember my dad and my
He's like
brothers-
Rex Ryan.
Yeah. I remember my dad and my brothers just being like, why in the fuck did they promote Wade Phillips? He is so good at defense. Keep him on defense.
Right.
Get somebody in there that can lead the rest of the everything else and just keep him right there in defense. And then sure enough, they went to shit. They fire the head coach because that's what you do.
Yep. Wade Phillips' first season as head coach of the Dallas Cowboys was in 2007, following the retirement of Bill Parcells.
Oh, yep.
In that season, the
Parcells,
Cowboys went 13-3
I
and
was
were
close.
the #1 seed in the NFC.
Wait, hold on. Here's the trick question. Look at McCarthy's first season because that was a 16-game season.
Oh yeah.
I would almost be willing to bet McCarthy won 13 games, but they were 13-4, and therefore he wasn't as successful.
I don't think they were that. I don't think they won that many. I think they won like 11
Because
with McCarthy.
Are you saying McCarthy's first year with the Cowboys?
first year of the Cowboys, what was his
It was
record?
in 2020, and it was 6-10.
Oh, really? 6-10. Interesting. Okay.
Well,
Oops.
that was COVID year, and then
Yeah.
Dak broke his ankle. So.
Yeah. That same year.
Yeah.
Okay, so then do the year after that, though, where Dak wasn't injured. What was 2021?
Yeah, I mean, you have to kind of just erase 2020.
That's what I mean, is
Yeah.
injury aside.
5.
12 and 5.
See, okay, that's
Yeah.
why, because that's
But-
what I remembered.
13 and 4, 13 and 3 with
13-3
Wade.
was
Wade
Phillips.
Phillips was
Yeah.
13.
But that's what I mean, is McCarthy has always won with the Cowboys, barring Dak getting injured like he
Right.
did last year.
Yeah.
And his first year.
Correct. Okay, so that's why. But my headspace was right,
God,
which
they-
is 12-5. That's a hell of a fucking first season with your quarterback.
Yeah.
It's crazy
It
how
was his second year, but yeah.
how head coaches just get chopped. Because I mean, you look at his career with the Cowboys. He had probably 2 losing seasons.
Well, 2020 and last year.
Yeah.
That was it.
Because he was at least 12-5 every other season.
Yeah.
Because that was the whole talking point.
Oh my
How
god.
is this man 12-5 and can't get past the first fucking round of this?
Right. Which is why I thought with the Hembo question, I was like, in my opinion, there's 2 answers, which is Switzer, who took
Yeah.
over for Jimmy Johnson post Super Bowl. So that team was loaded. And I know Switzer then went on to win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
So it was either Switzer taking over a Super Bowl contender, or it's McCarthy, who's on the hot seat every fucking year, but every year he wins games.
Yeah. Unreal.
Trick question.
Did
So
we know that? I didn't know this, or if I did, I didn't know it. Did we know that Mike McCarthy was a graduate assistant at Fort Hayes?
yes, I've
Yeah.
said this multiple times.
He was
Did I not listen?
Mike McCarthy
Yeah.
was the head coach at Baker University.
Because Fort Hayes during the Super Bowl against the Steelers got a shout out.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And I was just like, that's our fucking school.
So
I guess seeing it in writing versus hearing it sometimes.
is there keep reading
Yes.
because he was the head coach at Baker University as well. Right after Fort Hayes.
It does not.
Or right before. Right after. He was assistant.
I'm sorry. College was at Baker.
Oh, he went to college at Baker.
Yeah.
He donated all of the stands, the stadium seating when Baker redid their football field. He bought the old stadiums from the Bronco Stadium and then paid for it to be all shipped. And the stands that right now still are at Baker University came from the Broncos, but because Mike donated a shit ton of money, like $4 million to help renovate the stadium.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
I do remember having these conversations. Again, sometimes I have to see it
Yeah. Yep.
to fully understand.
You forgot you ate the donut. I got it.
Yes. Just call me Mary Kate.
Yeah.
And with that, I think we need to wrap the show up. That just tied everything up like a bow. Who we got today?
I will say I was going to do Panda, but he is no longer on.
Damn it.
It's okay if we don't rate anyone today.
All right. Let's not raid.
I'm not feeling like over. Well, actually.
Damn it.
Oh, are you off already?
Nope. We got to end the show.
Well, no, that's fine. I was going to say, this guy followed me the other day on Twitch, on like my actual Twitch. So
Okay.
I'll just do him because he's a friend of Fudd's and stuff like that.
Like
So
it.
We'll do this guy.
That
Parachute.
raid
And then it's HD Technical.
HD tab.
Right there. Yep. Destiny 2.
Okay. All right. We're going to end the show right here. Ba-boom. Thank you guys for listening to Season 8, Episode 13 of In the Middle Podcast. Thanks for being here. Bye. Talk to you soon.
And now we do the 10 seconds. Yeah.
Oh, man.
No, I knew that was coming.
I thought it was, I have to raid now and then wait the 10 seconds?
No,
Damn it.
now you just rate now
Now,
with
okay.
the 3 viewers.
All right.
There
See you guys.
Bye. There we go.
But where you can craft them now, is it really worth farming the adept?
I think
the
so.
time
Yeah,
lost?
yeah, because you can get